last we left our heroes.
Alrighty, so hello everybody, welcome to Main Chat Nerd Night, where a bunch of us folks get together and we remind ourselves how terrible our social lives are. So once again, picking up, we are here with our Thursday group, and I will do a very quick overview so we can go ahead and get started, because as you can see, we are actually picking right up into combat. So, very briefly, the group came together. They were enlisted. Their aid was enlisted by an elf by the name of Larasa to find documentation and information about a house that had been operating within Sundi, the kingdom that the party is taking place in. To do so, they traveled to the capital, the county capital of Hestmark, and there they met a couple of interesting characters, and then they had been spoken to by an individual by the name of Nald, who asked them to find his son, Nald, who had apparently been kidnapped and brought to the capital of the kingdom, Pitchfield. On their way there, they had a couple of encounters on the road. They made it to a town by the name of Ninevek, where they got up to some hijinks there. Zook made contact with his Thieves Guild contacts there. And after setting back out on the road, they came across a downed tree. And upon further investigation, it didn't appear to be natural, because number one, it's not a forest near where they are right now. And number two, as they approached, they were then approached from the other side of the tree by two small gold dragon figures, roughly about 3.5 feet long or so, coming up over the tree. So, starting up from there, what would we like to be doing?
Is it just me, or do you sound a little bit fuzzy?
I could
I think it sounds
There's a
fine.
little bit of static.
There's a little popping in the background, but that's new. But I think we'll push through it for right now.
Alrighty, I'll take a look. It might be a side effect of the new way I'm doing the music, because I'm streaming it. So, you've come across this tree. You've done what you've seen what you can. You've done what you can. And upon approaching the tree, some more stealthily than others, you have these two small, essentially large, medium to large dog-sized dragons coming up over the top of the tree. They both kind of glance at each other, and let me double check the languages you speak. Yeah, they're communicating to each other in a like low guttural language that's not. It's very rough. It sounds and sudden, with lots of clicks and pops, going back and forth between each other. They look at you. They look at each other. They look at you. Look at each other. One of them comes down. One of them comes down and slithers down, right up next to Zook, and kind of tilts his head and looks up at you. Make an insight check. Prudence is wondering if they seem hostile. Make an insight check.
The overlay isn't working.
Well, let's try that again. So you got a 10. Let me fix the overlay first, and then I'll tell you what that means. Refresh cache. There we go. Dragons are a little bit outside your expertise, and they're kind of hard to really get a bead on. They're, they have lizard-like habits. It's kind of tough to really see what they're trying to say or trying to think, as it were. They don't appear to be making any specific hostile motions, from what you can see from where you are. And so this one here climbs down the tree. The tree itself is about probably 4 feet high. It's very, very wide. And it leaps down to the ground, onto the ground next to Zook, and looks up at him. And you...
I have a question.
Yep.
As a forest gnome, I get to speak with small beasts. Does this little dragon count?
Well, you're about to find out in a second. as it looks up to you and says, "Small man have shinies?" Looks over at the rest of the group. Prudence, you notice he doesn't look in your direction.
What color are these?
Like a metallic golden color.
Oh, wonderful.
Golden's probably not accurate.
Do I...
More like a brassy color, but you do see from your distance. Make a perception check if you could. As we're doing this, you see the creature look out across the three of you. Of note, he doesn't look over and see. At least you don't think he sees you, Prudence.
Were you asking Hoyd for perception?
Yes, asking Hoyd for perception.
4.
4. Well, that's about what you see. And he looks to the rest of you. Men have shinies. You can see his eyes are kind of swiveling around, kind of like a gecko's eyes. You know, not gecko, that's a bit, iguana's eyes, like pointing in different directions and just looking around. A lot more lizard-like than you might have expected. Prudence, I'm just going to continue on and use your stealth from last time, which I believe was a 20. 10. And I'll have you creep back about there. Make a perception check, Prudence. Prudence is wondering if they look like they can fly quickly and fast. 10. They have wings.
Luigi.
They have wings. They're small. You can't really get a good bead on their abilities necessarily. They don't look like they'd be able to fly upward very well. They look a little too heavy for that.
I think I'm gonna say hi and ask if we may continue along the road. Try and be very nice.
Okay. He looks up at...
Are either of them looking at Hoyd?
Yeah, so this one looked around. This one's kind of looking off between the four of you here. Neither of them seem to have taken notice of Prudence at the moment. But yeah, they do like sort of glance your way every couple of seconds or so. The one that's standing next to you, Zook, says, well, you have Chinese for us. We let you go. Bye.
How much Chinese?
It kind of cocks his head. Shinies are perhaps something special. And I'm sorry, I believe it was Rurik or Shigun. You had a question?
Yes, I was wondering if they've seen me and Shigun, and are we able to hear what they're saying, or is this only Zook?
At this distance, yeah, you'd be able to hear, and like I said, they are looking, both of them are kind of looking at each of you every couple of seconds, just like keeping one eye on Zook, and then keeping the other eye pointing around at the rest of you.
Alright, I wasn't sure if we were in earshot, and if only Zook was the one able to understand them.
No, I realize I'm making the voice a little bit quiet, but they're actually quite loud. They're surprisingly loud for their size.
I think, with slow, deliberate movements, I'm going to get up from the fallen tree and go to stand by one of the trees on the side of the road.
Okay, so you just move to walk away?
Yeah, you know.
In
like,
which direction?
not
You have two trees
to be
here.
I think I want to go to the tree that's on the left.
This side? Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to seem like, like I'm running away. It's just I'm, like, moving to a more comfortable position.
Yep. So you get up from... You had sort of, like, crouched underneath where the tree is, and you got up and, keeping one eye back on this creature, slowly start walking away. And when you get about 15 feet or so away. This one here, the one that had been speaking to you, leaps into the air and lands in front of you. And if any of you have ever seen a chicken fly, it's a lot like that. He jumped, flapped his wings, didn't get a lot of height, but covered a lot of ground pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And he lands on the ground and skitters around and looks up at you. Small ones always have shiny.
I would
This one starts
I would
creeping
like to
his way
slowly-
up this way.
I would like to slowly approach the speaking one and slowly ask.
This is Rurik.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Just making sure.
What shinies? What kind of? You mentioned something special. Like, what kind of shiny do you mean?
As you approach it, you see its head kind of swivel, look at you, and it looks back to the other one that's up on the tree, and they communicate back and forth in the language that they had been speaking before. And then it turns back to you. It whenever it changes its focus, it like snaps its head, and then snaps its head to the next thing of focus. It's kind of awkward to watch. Snaps its head back to you. We want something of unique. Of a unique. The other one you hear calls over. Something that is unique.
Do we still have that medallion, or were we going to like throw? Or were we on our way to throw it out?
I believe you buried it.
That was already gone. Yep.
Yeah, okay, we dropped it.
So I'm gonna pull out a gold coin, hold it up, so not something like this, as I flourish and put it away.
Oh, that's right. Zook just kind of dropped it, and you walked away from it. So you pull out a gold coin, and you turn, and you pull out the gold coin, and it snaps its focus to you. No, we have much of that shiny. We look for something different. Something maybe not others have many of.
I would like. Sorry, I'm actually trying to think of a question here.
Okay.
Ember, this is a question for you, not necessarily for the game.
Sure.
It was
A question for the DM, I assume.
yes.
Yes. What's up?
There was this this periapt symbol thing that I acquired some time ago.
Yes.
How would you physically describe this object?
So as a cleric of, I believe, I want to say Pelor? Right?
Yes.
As a cleric of Pelor, you're familiar with the emblem, and it's more or less a small palm-sized symbol, golden and with some silver filigree, and it's a sun emblem with a masculine face across the front, symbol of Pelor, the Dawnfather. It's about in your hand. It's a little bit over palm-sized.
Right. That suits my case just fine. I approach. Well, I'm actually a warrior. I turn to the draconic figure.
Okay. You essentially stay where you are, but you turn that way. Yep.
Yeah. Are any members of your group or herd or whatever the appropriate term is suffering any illnesses?
Oops. I have no idea what server I just invited you to, but I accidentally invited you to something. Because I was messing with your volume. No idea what I just invited you to, but whatever.
Brony, security.
Oh, yeah, don't join that one if you could, please.
Yeah, I'm
so
just surprised.
you know, given that you asked the question of this creature, and do you have the? Are you holding it, or is it just in your pack still? You're just asking.
Right now, I'm asking. I haven't
Okay.
taken it or shown it or anything yet. I'm just asking at this point.
Okay. As you ask it this question, it turns and cocks its head, looks at you, looks back to its companion, communicates with it a little bit in its language, turns back to you. We not sick, not have illness. Sometimes, but we not often have experience with illness.
Do they seem like they're
I'm gonna
intelligent
cast
creatures?
Comprehend Languages.
Sure. So you cast Comprehend Languages. Are you going to attempt to do this in a subtle way, or are you just gonna cast it?
Oh, what does it look like?
Because I believe it has verbal and somatic components. And material,
I
but
mean, there's one
pitches
right in
and
front of me, and they seem to be pretty observant and focused, so I'm not really gonna bother hiding it.
Okay.
So there you go, I'm gonna cast some spell.
Alrighty. I'm sorry, there was another question floating around just now?
Do they seem like they're intelligent creatures?
I will say, make either a nature check to see if you know what this thing is, or an insight check to try and discern whether it's intelligent or not. One or the other, your choice.
No, it's the same roll anyway. That's 10.
It's a 10. I mean, the fact that it speaks common, the fact that it speaks common in addition to its native language does, at least a little bit, strike you as having some above average intelligence, perhaps. It's the because of its rough apparent understanding of common. So was this nature or insight? Which one did you go with?
I'm gonna go with insight.
Insight. Because of its apparent rough understanding of common, it's probably not incredibly intelligent, but it does speak common in addition to its native language, so. So Zook, you go ahead and cast Comprehend Languages, which I think is just one action, right? Yeah, casting time of one action. You mutter the words, and you churn your hands in a specific way, taking out your soot and salt and grinding them between your fingers. As you're doing this, the one that's nearest to you, you see its eye swivel up to look at you. It doesn't make any movement to stop you, but it kind of eyes you as you're doing this. And the spell is complete. You can understand all languages for, I think, an hour, or is it 10 minutes? Let's see. Let's look at the spell. It's
Long
for an
enough.
hour. Yeah, so you can understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you hear for the next hour.
While Zook is that, I'm going to remove the periaptive health from my person and hold it out in my palm facing upward and show it to the dragon with whom I'm speaking.
Okay.
And
So as you...
I will...
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Nope,
Oh.
go ahead. You had a thing.
And I offer the explanation. I'm not sure if this would be shiny enough for you, but it does have the ability to ward off and suppress disease and illness if for anyone wearing it.
Okay. So as you're taking it out and you're giving this explanation, the one that's next to Zook, actually, it skitters right up next to you and is like almost uncomfortably close to you. Looks right up, and it takes its two front claws and kind of puts them up on the edge of your hand and pulls your hand down to look at it closely with one of its eyes.
And I relent, letting them get a good look at the object.
Okay, so you let it down, and as this happens, the second one over here skitters down off the tree and around this way, just sort of around that way. The first one, Zook, you recognize this. You don't know the language because the comprehend language doesn't tell you what the language is, but you do recognize the speech. The one that's next to Rurik says to the one that's moving around, they have more for us. They must have more for us. Let's get more for us. And the one on the opposite side, now on the opposite side of you, says, well, let's see. Hang on. He's gonna take a quick peek. No, he's not. Not with a one. He's not. And
so the one next to Rurik is focused on him. The other one is
very
around,
intently.
Right?
Yeah, very intently. Is focused. Well, more specifically, focused on the object in Rurik's hand. The periaptive health that he's offering to them. The other one sort of skitters around and is now saying, Zook, I'm just gonna say what Zook hears. Zook, you hear, we should see what the others have. Prudence is wondering if they sound hostile now. I would say it's tough for you to know because you don't know their language. The language itself is fairly abrasive. So it's kind of tough to tell. I would say if you would like, you can make an insight check, but because of your previous insight check, it would be made at disadvantage. Yeah, it's tough to tell. The language that they speak between each other is just very rough and coarse and abrasive. The words that they say don't seem necessarily threatening. You can interpret the actions how you will.
Can I get the attention of the one close to me?
Yeah, the one more or less to your right. Here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of note, Rurik, as it's coming, it like reaches up and looks. You see it has feathers. Interestingly, it has feathers going down the length of its back, and a couple of small flight feathers along the edge of its wingtips, and these all sort of raise as this object is presented to them. Okay, so the one that's coming around the other side is looking at you. He's kind of looking at all of you, or they're kind of looking at all of you.
So I'm going to step forward a little bit to engage in conversation with the one next to me.
Toward the tree or toward the creature?
Toward the creature.
Okay. And just take a step forward.
Get right next to him, and then...
I'm gonna...
Go ahead, Zook.
I'm gonna try and, invent a gnomish turn of phrase. Let me know if this doesn't make sense. I'm going to send a message off to Rurik, basically saying that these guys are as greedy as a loon.
Okay. Alrighty. So you go ahead and
you gotta feed it lots of fabric, I assume.
Yeah. Well,
lots of string.
It'll make sense. So you go ahead and you cast your message. As you're doing this, neither of the creatures seems to pay you any mind. Hoyd, what was it that you were doing? You take a step toward it?
So, yep, take a step toward it, and as I'm stepping toward it, I'm going to brush something against my cheek and tell him,
Oh, you bastard. Go on.
you don't need anything from us. Casting friends.
That's, yes, I was going to say that something wouldn't happen to be red blush, would it?
Mm.
Okay. Make a persuasion check. With advantage, because you've cast friends on it. That's the fun thing about friends. There's no save, it just happens.
Mm-hmm. That is a 16.
16. Okay. So as you approach the creature, you complete your casting of friends, and you say that they don't need anything from you. It kind of cocks its head and looks up at you curiously. Need? We not need. We want. And as it says the word want, you see its feathers too start to sort of stand up on their end.
Let me think about how exactly I'm going to phrase this. I'm going to mention that, like, I'm going to say that, like, we're a traveling circus act, but we're so new that, like we don't even have a cart yet, and we really don't have really much else of value.
Can I?
Okay.
I would like to paraphrase that into something that I can actually do.
Well, so Zook, are you going to be... This is what you're saying to the one that's nearest to you?
Well,
Or to both of them?
I'm saying it loudly enough so they both can hear.
Okay. And Hoyd, what was it that you were going to do?
So I'm going to tell the same creature, does it really look like we have any more to give other than that?
The creature next to Hoyd is eyeing him up and down. Zook, can I have you make a deception check, please?
Yes, okay, d20 plus proficiencies.
Good lord.
Wow.
So that's a 23. All
That
right.
worked.
All right.
Deception.
The one that's sort of got its claws up on Rurik's glove, more or less, swivels its head and turns to look at you, and it reaches up into Rurik's hand and grabs the periapt with its claw. It can't like grab the whole thing. It grabs like one of the rays coming off the sun because it's kind of a smaller creature, and it pulls it out of Rurik's hand. Do you resist?
No.
Okay. So you let the creature take the periapt out of your hand. And
So friends only last a minute, which is fine for this.
Yep, friends only lasts a minute. I'm keeping track. Well, I'm keeping vague track. It's more complicated. But anyway. It takes the periapt, and as you're giving this explanation to it, it skitters over to you with the periapt in its claw, and looks at you very, very, very closely, with one of its eyes kind of swiveling up and down. It holds up suddenly just like holds up the periapt and says, "You had this. He had this. Maybe you have this too."
Wait, what is he gesturing at?
He's gesturing over toward Rurik because he had taken the periapt from Rurik's hand. There's a small,
what is he trying
small
to
holy
communicate? I'm
symbol.
a bit confused.
More or less, he's saying that Rurik, one of you has shiny, perhaps more of you have shiny. And Hoyd, remind me what it is that you said. I'm sorry, I got lost there for a second.
Does it look like we have anything more to give beyond that?
Like, I'm sorry, that's really all we have.
And he said he was eyeing me up and down.
Yeah. So first, the one was eyeing Zook, the other was eyeing up Hoyd. And Hoyd, you see this one eye you up and down, and it takes a couple of sets away from you, actually. And turns over to the other one. And Zuki, again, speaks in its language, but Zuki, you recognize the language. You recognize the words anyway. They're poor. What they have is what they have. I don't think that we'll be able to get anything else off of them. Besides this one, and he sort of gestures with his head toward Shigun, looks dangerous. The second one...
do I see him pointing at Shigun? Even though I
you
don't
do
understand
see
what he's saying.
you do see him sort of gesture his head in this direction. It's probably at Shigun because there's no one. I mean, it could possibly at Rurik as well, but you do see him sort of gesture his head over in this direction. Zook, the other one that approaches you, stops and turns to look at the other one, and then says, well, let me see if it will. It will. And then says, oh crap, I had a sentence and now it's just right out of my head. It says to the other, what are you, crazy? Look at him. Look at this one. You see the silk? They have something. As this conversation is going back and forth between them. It's more or less Zook. The rest of this immediate conversation is more or less them one trying to convince the other to go away, and the other trying to convince one that you have more. So one of them's convinced and the other isn't. And Hoyd, you know that you're getting close to your minute toward the ends of French.
I'm trying to think.
I got something planned,
Okay.
but I'm waiting for somebody else to do something first.
I think I've thought of something.
Yeah, I'll say you have like one more of
got-
these quote unquote rounds before the minute's up.
Okay,
I'm just
I
gonna
got
be
two
like,
things planned.
I'm just gonna like. I'm gonna continue pleading like. Look, like. I'm having difficulty composing this. I want to say that like we basically like spent the last of our cash on our costumes, you know.
Okay, so you say the
And
one in
that I
front
would
of you.
know because I'm the ringleader, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
But
that
we've been
popped
trying
up. Hold
to
on.
play for, like, we've been trying to play for tips from town to town. We haven't got much yet.
I have, Prudence just said something?
We just have
Oh.
that gesturing to the periapt and the stuff we're wearing.
Yes, Prudence did a very actionable thing.
Okay.
Here we go.
So,
You want to do one or both? Do you choose?
so blindness emphasis is you pick one, and that's concentration.
Ah.
Yeah.
You can use that as your portent?
Yeah,
I thought it was just us.
it's a saving throw. It's a Constitution saving throw. It's
So it
any
can target
creature.
anybody.
Yeah, it's any creature within eye shot. You can use your portents on.
Oh, wow.
So you can use it.
So yeah, you can make excellent use of good or bad portents.
Okay. So
That's
I will say, for the sake of this, at this point, I'm gonna need everyone to roll initiative, please. so we can
Okay.
find out what order these things go in.
Oh dear.
Hoyd is a 22.
Hoyd is a 22. Let me actually... Oh no! My notebook fell,
Wait,
so I'm
Prudence,
not on
don't
the
you
page
have
anymore.
don't you have alert now?
Okay, that means he has
dear.
advantage on
Oh.
them. That doesn't necessarily mean he automatically gets a high one. Where's the page? Damn it, there it is. So Hoyd has a 22.
Does my feet give me anything for initiative? I forget.
I believe you have aware, right? Or observant?
It's observant.
I believe it gives you advantage, but let me double check.
I was gonna say-
Oh no, you
It-
don't
it-
actually.
Yeah, it does nothing.
It actually doesn't anything. I thought... Oh, alert. That's the feat I'm thinking of. Alert gives you advantage, not observant.
Man, why is it not scrolling down whenever the bot posts? This is irritating.
I have no idea. So Rurik, you got a 17.
Oh jeez.
I believe Prudence, that was what, a 12? Right? Shigun. What was it that you got?
16.
You got a
Yeah, 16. Sorry.
Ah, he's a bit far away from the mic. And Zook,
Sorry,
what was it that
he
you
got
got?
up to do something.
I was in the kitchen for a second.
Zook? It scrolled up before I could see it. What is it that you got?
I got a 20. No, it's a 10.
You got a 10. Alright.
Also, does Hoyd know these are dragons?
They're certainly lizard-like. I
Okay.
will say, when it comes around to your turn, no, I'll say as we've been having this conversation, you can make a nature check.
Okay, I'm
Just
just
to see.
flavoring what I'm gonna say. That's all.
Oh, good lord. Oh my god, really? Okay. So, first up in the initiative order, we have Hoyd.
Excellent.
I will say, Prudence, your action goes off first, and then we go to Hoyd, just for the sake of it, because you had a thing ready. So do you run, you cast blindness / deafness on this one. What's your spell save DC? Okay, I need to stop using this die.
Well,
Oh no, that's right, you used the
keep
portent.
using it.
That's right, you used the portent, so it doesn't matter. He has a... Yeah, that was an 8, so no. Even, that was a 9, but no. It is it either blinded or deafened? Which one?
Yeah, wait. I don't think he specified which one yet.
Yep, I'm waiting. Okay, you will blind the one nearest to Shigun. Okay, so this one is now blind. I don't have any markers. That sucks. Here's what I'll do, actually. I will do this if I can find it.
You can
I
replace
will
him
replace
with a
him
black marker.
with this that has a literal marker stripe on it.
I like it.
Barely see that. Oh, I see. Okay.
Alrighty. So that one's blinded. And are you said you were moving away. Are you going to move your movement speed directly away? You're moving in. Okay. Whereabouts are you going to be going? Right about to here? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, like immediately adjacent. Yeah, that'll bring you right there. One of these two, whichever one you want. Okay, so you're probably going to want to go
Yep,
there.
I got that. It wouldn't matter.
Alrighty. Next up in the initiative order, we have Hoyd.
Alright, I am going to step 5 feet closer to fix that flank.
Okay. Bop.
I'm going to look at Shigun and say, my eyes are going to flash blue and my skin's start to glow slightly. Shigun, be a deer and kill this creature for me. I'm going to give Shigun, Rurik, and Zook 5 temporary hit points.
Okay. Your Mantle of
And-
Inspiration, I think, right?
It is. And they
Yep.
can immediately use their reaction to make their movement.
Yeah, that's good.
Alrighty.
Immediately.
So that was Shigun, Rurik, and who?
Shigun, Rurik, and Zook.
Alright, Shigun, Rurik, and Zook. If you would like, you can use your reaction to move your movement speed in any direction.
Okay.
With no opportunity.
Is
With no
that
opportunity
it? Just
attacks.
move?
Just movement.
Yeah,
just
because
movement.
it's your reaction.
But
you don't provoke
I'm sorry, Horde, you said for me to go after the blind one.
Yes.
Alright, I'll go ahead and step within range to hit him on the corner as well. Or get to his place on the corner.
Okay, so right about there.
Yeah.
So you're
And
okay.
then I have something else as well.
Alrighty.
Can I
So,
use my movement
Zook?
reaction?
Are you gonna be moving?
Yes, I'm gonna be like on jams, and I'm gonna go towards the tree that I was already heading
This one?
to. No, the tree in the
Oh, this
the
way.
left. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna head toward it.
15, 20, 25 will actually get you behind. I believe your movement speed's 25, so you're about there.
Yeah.
And thanks
And did
to
you choose blind or deaf?
blind.
Fine.
What does the modifier do?
So blinded
Before I
creatures
can find it.
can't see. They automatically fail ability checks that require sight, and attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and its attacks have disadvantage.
For resolving the movement, I'm going to disengage from the
Well, you don't
dragon
have to,
closest.
because you automatically don't take opportunity attacks
Sorry,
thanks
sorry.
to this specific ability.
I'm sorry, I used the word disengage as its normal definition, not as a gameplay mechanic. It's a habit. I need to stop
So,
that. I'm sorry.
which direction are you moving in?
I'm gonna move closer to closer to Shigun, maybe a little bit more northerly.
Right about
Um,
Yonk or so? 5, 10, 5, 10,
at
No,
the
5,
where you
15.
were at 10 mark, right around there. Yeah.
right here? Yeah, so that's 15 feet of movement right there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just gonna dogpile this guy. Alright. And Hoyd, you still have another.
I do still have another. I'm going to glance at the non-blind one. The other.
Okay.
I'm going to lash out with Vicious Mockery. This is what you get for your greed.
Alright, Vicious Mockery. You're gonna cast
So
Vicious
Wisdom
Mockery.
13.
Your mantle, is that an action or a bonus action?
That's a bonus action.
Oops.
It's easy.
Oh, good lord, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So you're gonna cast Vicious Mockery. What's the
Mhm.
saving throw on that?
Wisdom
It is
13.
Wisdom saving throw 13. That's a 16 on the die, so unfortunately.
Okay, so he wins. That's 1 damage anyway.
It takes. It doesn't take any damage if it succeeds on the saving throw.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I moved off of that.
Yeah, Vicious It's cantrips are usually save or suck, so
Okay, so
Unfortunately.
nothing happens to it. He
Yeah.
felt the weight of my word.
well, we'll see when it gets to its turn. If it gets to its turn. Okay. Next in the initiative order, Rurik. Or I'm sorry, Hoyd. Did you want to move, or do you have anything else you'd like to do?
No, I stepped 5 feet toward. No, I'm actually content where I am. Actually,
Alrighty. Nope. What's up?
Will Shigun get flanking? If I, it doesn't matter because he's got disadvantage. No, I'm staying
Yeah,
put.
he's blinded, so all attacks against him have advantage anyway.
That's what matters. I'll stay put.
Okay. Rurik, what would you like to do?
Boyd, must we really kill this? Must we really kill these?
Do you want me to answer now or when my turn's up?
Talking's a free action.
But I've already done my talking.
I'll say if it's a 1 or 2 word action, you can respond now. That's fine.
They've earned it.
Alright. I'll move within melee range of the blinded one. Yeah, pretty much. Right. How does flank? Like, would I have to be on the opposite side, or is he already
Doesn't
being
matter
So-
because he's already blinded.
Well, so to answer the question, just as an example, Hoyd and Prudence are flanking, whereas Shigun and Hoyd are not. So you do have to be directly across. However, because it's blinded, attacks against it have advantage anyway. So.
All right, flanking is only advantage on attacks, right?
Correct. There's no other bonuses.
Okay, so it already has advantage. Okay.
So you're just
Or
gonna move
sneak
straight
attack,
in
but
here
that's not relevant right now.
because you have 25 feet. So 5, 15, 20, 25 can get you into the opposite corner if you'd like everyone to be flanking.
Nah, that's not. I don't think it's particularly necessary.
Alrighty. So we bring you just straight in. You started here. I'm just keeping track of that.
Yes. With a heavy and regretful sigh, I shall cast Inflict Wounds on the dragon.
Okay. Oh, inflict wounds is a bitch. Let's take a look. See. Go ahead and make a melee spell attack.
Yeah, why isn't it-
3d10 necrotic. Good lord.
It doesn't affect blindness though, does it?
It does not. It doesn't affect blindness, deafness. No. But you
Isn't
are making this.
affected
You are making this roll at advantage because it is an attack roll.
Yes. And I'm double checking a quick thing. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I did the roll. Did it show up?
Let's take a look. Yeah, it did. So I a 22 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage. So that's 3d10.
Is that just a 3d10 or does it factor?
There's no modifier. It's just 3d10.
Oh, okay.
If you were upcasting it, which you can't be, well, if you wanted to cast it as a second level spell, which you would have had to announce previously,
Yeah.
it gives you an extra 1d10 for each slot, but there's no modifier, just 3d10.
Yeah, just making sure.
16 damage. Alrighty, you're making me do math. I don't like math. He
Sorry.
said doing math every day at his job. Alrighty, is that going to be your turn? Probably, but
Most like. I can't do any other bonus actions, so.
you still have your bonus action. If you wanted to cast like,
Oh, I do,
Shield
but all
or
my bonus
something, but-
actions are spells.
yeah. So,
So,
if that's going to be
so
your
no, I
turn,
can't. Not right now.
is that going to be your turn?
I believe so.
Okay, Shigun, you're up.
All right. How badly damaged does this thing look?
Alright, I never actually described how that went out.
So with your inflict wounds, you reached out and you just made a quick touch against the creature, and you see a line of just blight run across its body. You see some of its feathers fall off, and it's kind of thrashing around. You see its eyes are clouded. and it's having a tough time comprehending what's going on. It hurt. It's not dying, but that hurt it.
In that case, I'm going to draw my longsword and take a swipe at it. And I have advantage since he's blind, right?
You do. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, a 20 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
A double 13.
So you deal 9 points of damage to it. So you watching this creature thrash around, it's almost pitiable. You draw your longsword and take a swipe down at it, and you very easily carve through a section of its flank. And it thrashes as you strike it. Alright, is that going to be your turn?
I think so. Since it's blind, I think I'm going to save all my fun stuff for the slightly more dangerous one, just to be on the safe side.
Oh man, he's gonna be pissed.
Alrighty. So, next up in the initiative order, we have Prudence, who's back from the Little Crow's room. Quite, yes. You've seen it take quite a bit of damage from the necrotic blight that's been thrust upon it, and Shigun's strike dealt a good amount of damage to it as well. Can you melee range, or is there something you want to do spell-wise? Because I want to say I don't think you can reach it if you want to need to get into melee range, but 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, you can get no, you can move through other people's spaces. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah. That's the extent of your movement. It will bring you right here.
Oh, control shift C is okay.
Tasha's hideous laughter on the
Oh,
one that you
no.
walked up to.
Yeah, sometimes it's Control Shift Z and sometimes it's Control Y.
I don't like that.
Okay. The range of the spell is 30 feet. You want to get into melee range for that? And don't worry, once you get a little bit higher level, I'm going to stop questioning these decisions. So, okay, makes sense to me. So, you walk up to this creature,
Thank you.
and you cast the spell, and you wave the feather through the air, and it tracks the feather with its eyes. And thanks to the 2 that it rolled, because of your ability to bend reality. You can see that it and it actually falls onto its back very, very much like a large dog that had been, that's playing around. It falls onto its back and starts thrashing with its talons. All right, is that going to be your turn? Okay. Now we have
Does that
Zook.
do any damage? Or just incapacitate?
It incapacitates them. That's all.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so let me just double check. Okay, does the enemy count as incapacitated?
From Tasha's hideous laughter? Yes, it's incapacitated. They're prone and incapacitated.
Okay, which means I can't sneak attack.
Oh
wait, no.
well, if you're doing a ranged attack, because
Wait,
it's
no, I'm
prone,
misreading it. I'm misreading it. If you don't need advantage, if another enemy target is within 5 feet of it, that enemy isn't incapacitated and you don't have disadvantage. Does that mean that can't do sneak attack now, or that I can?
You can do sneak attack because, actually, you know what? Because it's prone and it would be a ranged attack that would give you disadvantage. It cancels out because it's incapacitated. We got one. Let me double check the wording of incapacitation. Oh no, it doesn't actually. It just can't take actions or reactions. It doesn't give you advantage. So unfortunately, because it's prone, that actually gives you disadvantage. So that would negate your ability to sneak attack this one.
Well, so much for that. Do I get line of do I have line of sight to the one that's blind?
Wait, you can sneak attack wouldn't like you could actually no, wouldn't, that would probably fall under tabletop. Never mind.
You can try to take a shot, but they'll have their, you move this way to get around Prudence. You still have three allies in the way.
Wait a minute.
So they would have partial cover.
Wait, if I hide and then take the shot, would I be able to get sneak attack that way?
You still have disadvantage on the shot. If you have disadvantage, you can't get sneak attack.
Well, yeah, but hiding gives me advantage on the attack roll, which means that we skip that fallback rule, and then I can use the sneak attack even if I then just roll a d20.
Oh right, duh. Rogue abilities, you can take a bonus action to hide. I was like, you can take a bonus you can take a bonus action to hide this turn, and attempt to make your attack. So yeah, go ahead and roll stealth first.
Oh, you want me to roll stealth again? This is always
well,
fun.
because you're taking your bonus action to hide, so you do have to roll stealth for that.
See, fun.
Man, so basically he just did peace and vanished.
Yep. Rogues.
Well, let's see. Yeah, not with an 11.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So you've gone ahead and hidden,
I just saw the roll.
and then you
The
pop
gnome
back out.
disappeared.
Let me double check. I just want to double check something real quick.
Wait, you can see the DM's rolls?
I said that it was an 11.
I was referring to Boyd.
I assume he was remarking upon my roll.
Okay, so yeah,
How do you know I haven't charmed the DM?
thanks to
Thanks
the wonderful Jeremy Crawford, who had an explicit answer to this question. Yeah, so the advantage that you get from hiding does cancel out the disadvantage from prone. I knew it would cancel out for the attack roll, I just wasn't sure if it would cancel out in terms of sneak attack, but yes it does. So yeah, you can go ahead and roll for an attack. It is a straight roll, because you have advantage and disadvantage that cancel out, but if you hit, you can get sneak attack.
Okay.
A 12. Unfortunately, a 12 will not hit, so you steady your crossbow, coming out from your hiding spot just slightly, and you fire. Or loose, whatever the hell. And it...
Short bow.
That's right, short bow. The one in the other group has a crossbow. I always get you two mixed up. Anyway. Sorry, so you rolled the 12. You fire the crossbow bolt, and as it's thrashing around on the ground, it actually... Sorry, I said crossbow again, my bad. You lose the arrow, and as it's thrashing around on the ground, it actually sinks into the ground where it would have been, but it twists out of the way at the last second with its laughter. Alrighty, I believe... Is that going to be your turn, or are you going to move? So, to explain what you're actually seeing here, this is the top of the tree. That's the actual trunk. So, if you wanted to hide behind it, it would be behind this thing. But that's like the canopy of the tree.
Wait, I thought I was behind
Looked like a rock
the
to me.
tree.
So, in order to... Unless you were firing from behind... If you were firing behind the tree, it would have partial cover. So I had you step out from behind the tree,
Okay,
and then
yeah,
you can
no,
step
that's
back.
fine.
You can step back in. I can make you walk this 5 feet back, and now you're behind the tree again.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna step back behind the tree, and I think I spent my action and my bonus action, so I can't hide, so that'd be the end of my turn.
Alrighty. And that's all of you guys. Now, it is the creature's turns. The one on the ground can't do anything, but it does get its save at the end of its turn. I believe it's a wisdom saving throw. So I'm just going to make the wisdom save for this one. Your save DC is 13, correct? Alrighty, so that's a 14 on the die. So it is no longer incapacitated. It is, however, still prone because it used its entire turn to do that. So the other one, after feeling the bite of so many weapons and such, it's going to lash out toward Rurik, the one that's just closest to him. He's going to lash out with disadvantage because he's blind. With a 12, which I believe misses.
Sure does.
By quite a bit, actually. So it goes to lash out with its jaws just to clamp down on you, and you just take a step back, and it only bites empty air. It's going to then... Excuse me. It's going to then...
12 would miss Prudence.
Yeah. It's going to then... That's what sucks about disadvantage, you know? It's going to then go and rake across with its claws toward... and I'm actually going to roll to find out what direction they're going to go in. Here's the D10. The 2. Toward Rurik again. Yeah. He rolled a 20 and a 2. So.
Oh.
Yay! Good job, Prudence.
So, it goes to rake out with its claws again, and this time you actually, you tap it a little with your warhammer just to push it back slightly. Alright, that's going to be its turn. Going back up to the top of the initiative order, Hoyd.
So the other made it save. Did it get up?
It did not. It had to make it save at the end of its turn, so it didn't have any movement to stand.
Okay. But it's no longer blind?
That was the one under Tasha's hideous laughter.
Okay.
So it's no longer incapacitated. It now understands the joke and is not laughing anymore. But it is still prone.
Okay.
Has it noticed the arrow that has appeared in the floor?
It hasn't had time to yet. That was the end of its turn.
There's an
Okay.
arrow in the floor?
What about how beat up does the thing next to me look?
It pretty beat up.
Okay.
It could probably take a couple more hits, but it's not looking too hot.
Probably someone a few clicks to the west was shooting arrows in the sky because they were happy about something.
Yes, that's definitely what happened.
That must have been it.
Okay, I'm going to use Vicious Mockery again on the other one. The one that's
Okay.
down.
That's a wisdom save, right?
It's a wisdom save.
Oops, if I could spell vicious correctly. Your save
13.
DC again? I'm gonna keep asking you this because I keep forgetting to write it down.
Wisdom 13, that's fine, I got it right handy.
13. That's an 18 on the die, unfortunately.
Well, nothing happens to it then.
Yeah, see, this die right here has been giving me all of the terrible rolls, but also all of the great rolls. So it's like, it's a tease. That die is a tease.
I was pretty sure I heard it. So I'm surprised that playing that instead of like combative music.
No, it's there. So.
I can barely hear it.
Is that going to be your turn, Hoyd?
Nope. Nope,
No.
I'm not
What
quite
you
done
going to
yet.
do now?
And then I yell over to Zook, "You got the next one." And I'm going to give you Bardic Inspiration. Enjoy that.
What does that do?
You have an extra.
You get a 1d6 to do
D6, yeah.
whatever with.
You can add, if you would like, you can add a d6 to any d20 roll. You can choose to add it after you've made the roll, but before I've told you whether it succeeds or not.
Okay,
that is such a cool ability.
Can
Bardic
I
Inspiration's
add
great.
it to the pile of d6s that I have for a damage roll?
Not damage, it has
No.
to be a d20 roll.
Okay, cool.
Ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Can it be added after the roll is made, or does it have to be factored before?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, nice.
so
It can be made after seeing the roll, but before knowing the outcome.
That's
Right.
great.
before I
It's like
say
that?
whether it succeeds or not, but after you make the roll is totally fine. Which gets pretty busted at later levels once you start getting a d10.
Oh boy.
So you got 10 minutes to use that.
Yes. So, that gonna be your turn? You gonna stay where you are?
I'm going to stay where I am.
Alrighty. Rurik.
Is the one near me, is that one still blinded?
Yeah, I mean, looking around, it's kind of tough to see because of the way it's moving around, but its eyes are clouded and it's thrashing out randomly. It's having a tough time.
Okay. Um. I am.
Oh, Prudence. Sorry, not to interrupt. Prudence are you going to have Deer participate in this fight? And if so, I would like you to roll initiative for her. If not, we can just say she's fucked off wherever. Okay, so I'm just going to actually pull her off the board. You've had her fly away. And I remember you told me that before we even started playing, so I'll just pull her off the board for now.
That's
So,
good.
Rurik, what would you like to do? The one you're standing next to is still blinded.
I want to use what? Yes, inflict wounds and cure wounds.
God, I take 2 seconds and walk away from the screen and you start... and I miss something. Anyway, what's going to be going on?
Prudence said cure wounds.
Oh, yeah.
He's conflicted.
Yes, I'm very conflicted. I don't like this situation. and it
You
makes
reach
me-
out and touch the creature. It feels uncomfortable. Sorry, I've just been playing a lot of Undertale lately.
It's a good game. Man, I don't. It's honestly been a while.
Alright, so what are we going to be doing?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
You do have a big, heavy hunk of metal in your hands.
I am probably just going to swing at him with a warhammer.
Okay,
No.
go ahead and roll for an attack. And because it's blinded, this is with advantage. Oh, it didn't matter. Yeah, you remembered? Cool. Unfortunately, a 16 will not hit. So you go and you take a swing, and you actually connect. You do feel it impact, but unfortunately, it more or less pushes it. It doesn't seem to do any actual damage to the creature.
Alright then. I would like to follow up with a bonus action and cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay, so you'll cast Spiritual Weapon. Where would you like the Spiritual Weapon to be located?
I'll manifest it on the opposite side.
Okay. Just so you're aware, mechanically, Spiritual Weapon doesn't give you flanking, but
Doesn't flank.
just for the ease of keeping everything simple. There we go. I'm going to manifest it right there. I'm going to give you that D10. Count down from 10. The little mini die. And I give you a mini die because it can occupy the same space as a creature. And I believe you get to make an attack with it. So go ahead and roll a spell attack.
With it.
With advantage, because it's an attack.
Spell attack.
All right, 23 will hit. So as you you clutch your holy symbol and you point out across to the other side of the creature a large warhammer, actually looking very similar to the one that you are wielding, but with a sort of a ethereal presence to it, rises out of the ground, and it swings towards the creature, and you can see it crack down on the creature. Yes, it's a warhammer, but it's bigger and warrior.
It's bigger and warrior.
Go ahead and roll damage.
It's hammier.
Which is D6, a D8 plus your wisdom mod.
Yes, which will now be a +4.
Alright, you deal 11 points of force damage. Yes, force damage, the thing that nothing has resistance against.
Wait, nothing resists force.
There are things.
Nope.
There are
Not
things
really.
that have some resistance, but there are things. It's very few things. There are things that have resistance to like everything that have resistance to force damage, like a totem, totem barbarian. But largely, no, not a lot of force damage resistance.
What is force damage? And I was expecting force damage to be like a force of impact.
Magic missiles are force damage.
So it's like
I'm picturing it as either pure magical damage,
Right.
or like
Yeah, that's what Prudence
It's-
said.
literally bad vibes.
yeah,
Elementalist damage.
You can visualize it like this: like you're basically rippling the fabric of reality, and that ripple is causing damage. That's force damage.
I was before this. I was mentally parsing force damage as in like the force of an impact, like a physical.
Right, like
impact.
bludgeoning or slashing or something. Yeah, no, force damage
Yeah.
is its own category, and very few things have resistance to it.
So really, you're a Jedi.
So this warhammer rises up, and there's a slight halo, sort of ethereal glow around to it, and it swings down and cracks down on the creature, just below where its wings meet the body, and it actually spins around and turns to face toward the spiritual weapon, because that's where it felt it got hit from. Is that going to be your turn? You going to stay where you are?
Yeah, I'm good where I'm at.
Alrighty. Shigun, what you got?
This thing is still alive, is it?
Oh yes.
Oh, good.
It's worse off than it was this morning, that's for sure.
Well, I think I'm going to hack it again. Still have advantage, right?
You do, because it's blinded. It's a little tough to hear you, that's all.
Sorry.
But yes, it does have advantage, and you're going to go ahead and attack. You can roll with advantage. Yeah, a 20 will hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Awesome. 5. Oh, hopefully that's enough.
13.
You did
All
max
right.
damage
I
on
did
that
do
attack.
max damage.
Nice.
Mighty swing.
So as this thing is thrashing, you take advantage of its redirected attention thanks to Rurik's spiritual weapon, and you come down on it, and you actually pull off a good chunk of its wing. And it was not happy about that, I tell you what.
Okay, Bobby.
Alrighty, is that gonna be your turn? Or do you have something else you're gonna be doing?
Man, it's still going.
It's plugging along, but it's hurt. It's real hurt.
You don't know if this justifies using an action surge or not, do you?
Yeah, I want to use action search to get rid of it, but this one is less of a threat than the other one, so I'm gonna hold off on that. I'll end my turn there.
Alrighty.
You get a second attack at level 5.
Next down in the list, we have Prudence. I would say because you've been in combat before, Prudence would recognize the ability of a creature to take a swipe at it as he's walking away. I wouldn't necessarily consider that metagaming.
Remember, he is also still prone.
Okay. In that case, it will take its reaction. You just take a step away. Excuse me, and it will take its reaction. It's prone, so it has disadvantage, but it is gonna take a strike at you. That's gonna be. Oh Jesus! All right, that's gonna be a. Where is this? Plus 4 to hit. That's gonna be a 21.
A 21 with
which
disadvantage?
certainly hits. He got an 18 and a 17 with a plus 4.
Wow.
Alrighty. That is going to be
That can happen.
with its 6. Where are my d6? There they are.
I'm curious what.
Oh, good lord. Plus 2. So that's going to be 10 points of slashing damage. Just it strikes out as you take a step away.
How much damage was that?
10 points of slashing damage.
10? Ooh.
Okay, sure. Hellish Rebuke. That's a spell I haven't heard about in a long time. So,
It's 22.
is a dexterity saving throw. Because it's a racial ability. Let me double check what. Does it tell you in your racial description what your spell save DC is, or what the ability modifier is? Probably charisma. Yeah. So that would be 10 plus 1, so 11. So it has to make a dex save of 11. Yeah, no, that's a 1. Fucking A. This the lapis lazuli die taketh, and the lapis lazuli die giveth and taketh away. Good lord. Alrighty. 2d10.
If only you could put portents on it.
Alright, so 9 points. That's a good roll. It's an average roll, but it's a good roll.
That's a good roll. That's solid.
Yeah.
That is.
Alrighty.
That was
so as
really, really clever.
okay. So I'll yes.
Just
So go ahead and do
him
Tasha's
using-
Hideous Laughter. Are you going to move any further away? Or you're going to stay the 5 feet there?
He's like, he wanted that to hit.
Okay. Well, because you still have 25 feet of movement, and then you can still do Tasha's Hideous Laughter because you're within 30 feet. So. Are you going to move back in already? Take a step in. Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Ah, Prudence is
That's
doing the hokey pokey.
Yeah, pretty much. Blah, 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 blah. Wisdom. That is a 14. Unfortunately. So that does make it save. Alrighty. So it does make it save. Is that going to be your turn? Alrighty. Next up we have Zook.
I have a quick mechanic question.
What's up, Rurik?
Regarding inspiration and the bequeathing it to other people, can you do that mid-game or is that between sessions?
You can do it whenever you want.
Okay.
It's yours to give
um,
away. Because it was a slash, yes, Prudence, your clothes did get torn.
Is that a bonus?
Mending is mending a bonus action?
I
I
thought
think it
mending
is,
took
but
like, I think
let me double
mending
check.
takes like 10 minutes.
Yeah, mending is a minute.
Minute, yeah, right.
Is it really
Yeah.
a minute? Wow.
It is.
10 rounds.
Casting time 1 minute. Yes. So,
Wow, that's way longer than I expected.
Rurik, yeah. So it's the way I handle inspiration and the giving away of inspiration. You can give somebody else inspiration before they make the roll.
Okay.
So it doesn't quite work the same way as bardic inspiration, but you can basically give someone advantage if you want them to have advantage, or you can force a creature to re-roll and take disadvantage.
Okay,
Yes, Zook, what's up?
so do I need to hide again in order to get the sneak attack on this guy this time?
You would, yes, because you are no longer
Okay.
stealth.
So then
So
I
go
will
ahead and
hide.
roll stealth. Okay. Alrighty. So you duck back behind the tree, doing your best to break line of sight. Now you're gonna take your. Gonna take
And
an
then I'm
attack.
going to attack with my bow the guy, the one next to Prudence.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I want to use my bardic inspiration. I'm gonna make the roll first.
So for this, unfortunately, it did see you and rolled a 17. So you don't get the advantage from being hidden, unfortunately. So this roll is being made at disadvantage
Wait, it's a disadvantage?
because the creature's prone.
Ah, okay. Do I still get sneak attack?
You do not. Yeah, any situation that gives you disadvantage takes away sneak attack.
Wow, that's
It's like the one hard counter
That
to
sucks.
sneak attack is something that grants disadvantage,
that sucks.
which is why going up against something that can blind you is rough.
Okay, I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration. So that's
Okay, so you got the 8. You're gonna roll the extra d6. So 12. Alrighty, unfortunately 12 will not hit either. So you go.
Good suit, Prudence. Could you help this guy up?
So you go and you take another shot, and this time it's actually ready for you, and instead of accidentally writhing out of the way, it does deliberately roll out of the way. Alright. Is that going to be your turn? Are you going to move any further?
I'm not even gonna like move behind the tree. I'm gonna stand here hoping it does something
Alrighty.
to change the situation.
Okay. Coming back up. Let's see if our friend over here... Oh wait, no, I don't have to do any of that anymore. This one's going to take half its movements to stand up. Whoop, and get thrown across the board as I lose my grip on it.
Is that a legendary action?
No, it's its turn. Or are you not done with your turn?
No, I was snarking about how it flew across the board.
Oh, yes. I mean, well... That's for later. That's a secret surprise that will help us later. This one will stand up and whipping around and will hiss at Prudence and will go and attempt to take 2 strikes against him. And that will be +4, so that'll be a 16 to hit, which I believe does. Alrighty. And that will be 2d4 plus 2. Eight points of piercing damage as it reaches out with its jaw and just clamps down onto you. Withdrawing, it's going to turn and take another strike at you with its claws. That's going to be a 10 So it misses this time. So coming back with its jaws, it takes a swipe at you with its claws, and holding your torn robes together, you flinch and take a step back, and it's just enough to get you out of the way. Your clothes are not pleased with you, Prudence. This other one here is going to go. The last thing that hit it is going to take a strike at the last thing that hit it, which was Shigun. So he's going to make a strike at Shigun with disadvantage, attempting to bite you. That's a 22 to hit.
Ouch. Yeah, that hits.
He rolled a 20 and an 18, so either way. I keep putting away my damage dice. I don't know why.
Well, hey, you saved a crit.
Yeah, you saved yourself from a crit. Well, crit on d4s, but still. So that's going to be 7 points of piercing damage as it reaches out and it takes a bite at you just wildly. Managed to get its grip around one of your legs.
And
it's going to take it.
7?
Say again?
You said that was 7 damage?
Yes, minus your 3.
Yeah. It's the
So
minus
4.
3, so I'll take 4 damage.
Yeah, so 4 from heavy armor mastery.
Okay.
And it's going to go, now that it vaguely knows where you are, it's still disadvantaged, but it has a good idea of where you are now. Is going to take, yeah, that's a 9. Attempts to take a swipe at you with its claws, but taking advantage of its blindness, you take a step to the side in the opposite direction that it struck at you, and it just meets nothing but air. At the end of its turn, it's going to make a wisdom saving throw to see if it can get out of this blindness. That's a 19 on the die, so it is no longer blinded. You see...
Swap the token out again.
That's fine. I'm going to differentiate them using the line. You see it shake its head as it's taking the swipe, and it blinks a few times, and the film, the cloudiness that was over its eyes seems to fade, and it looks directly... it's weird. It looks directly at Shigun, but it also looks directly at Hoyd. It's weird. Rurik,
joy.
you're kind of head on, so it can't quite see you from the very front. That's the end of their turn. Yeah, that's fine. That's the end of their turn. Hoyd.
Alright. Prudence has taken a lot of damage recently. How torn up is his clothing? Since that's our gauge of health.
Good question, Prudence. How torn up is your clothing?
By my count, quite.
He says, he'll be fine, apparently.
Okay.
Actually, he typed that up earlier. Oh wait, nope, never mind.
Okay. I'm going to withdraw my rapier and attack this creature in front of me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for an attack. No longer with advantage because it's no longer blinded, unfortunately.
That's fine. Okay. That is 24.
Let me just check the book. Yeah, 24 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I gotta go to the index and make sure. Yes, it'll hit.
Rolls 32.
That's 10 damage.
That's 10 points of damage. All right. Rapier is slashing. It doesn't matter,
Piercing.
but just for flavor, piercing.
And then I
Alrighty.
have an idea too.
And it was 10 points of damage. You said.
10 points damage.
10
And
points
what
of
I'd
damage.
like to do is push all the way into the hilt.
Oh.
Okay. So as you flourish your rapier and you stand it up in front of you and take a thrust directly into the creature, because it's more or less trying to focus on multiple places at once, and you manage to catch it just under where its neck would meet its body, and you thrust all the way through, and the point of your rapier actually does end up sticking out the other side as you withdraw, and it lurches to one side, just and shakes his head and glares up at you. Oops, I marked off the damage on the wrong one. And it's... Jesus. It's extremely displeased with that one. You can see it's actually just about bleeding out. Pretty close to death, you probably would imagine. Is that going to be your turn?
All right, and that will be my turn. I do want to say I have a plan, just out loud.
You better have a plan.
Alrighty. So, now, you hear coming from behind you, coming off of this tree, what you didn't see before. You see what appear to be pieces of the bark tearing itself off of the tree, as a number of small humanoid figures tear themselves off the tree. Seems to be almost made of sticks and twigs just bundled together. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3 sideways, we got 4 coming out there, and as they sort of pull themselves off the tree, they look at the 2 creatures that you have been fighting and bare their teeth. They don't speak any language that you can tell. Got a double, yeah. And they just kind of hiss at you and are going to run toward the 2 that are closest. So they're going to run at Hoyd. So these 2 are going to run at Hoyd. 2, 3. And he's going to make a claw strike at you. That's 21 to hit.
Yep, that hurts.
And fucking A. 3 points of slashing damage. As it just comes across and it feels like a splinter almost. They're about 3 feet tall. They look like if somebody had taken a bunch of sticks and twigs and arranged them into a humanoid form. That's what these things look like.
So they're
like a golem.
They're
Timberman.
2, 3. So this one's gonna come up next to you and also take a strike. Not with a 1. It's not. This time, now that you're prepared for the enemies coming from that side, you casually sidestep and it does not manage to connect. These 2 here. Do not have the intelligence necessary to make tactical decisions, so they're going to actually come 1, 2, 3, 4. And that one's going to take a swipe at Prudence. That is a 19 to hit. Can you keep rolling 1s on this one? 3 points of slashing damage. You're gonna You're gonna cast Shield, which is a
plus 5 to AC.
5 to your AC. That's a 17. They rolled a 19, so that still would hit.
He's got mage armor.
What did you cast? Oh, that's right. You cast mage armor this morning. That's right. I forgot about that. Yes, and shield and mage armor do stack. So, as this thing comes lurching at you, you can hear its joints like crackling. It sounds like pieces of wood being broken and firewood almost crackling. And it takes a swipe at you, and you turn just in time to throw up a ward, and its claws meet the ward and scrape across. Maybe. And until your next turn. Seeing this one, the second one is going to come along.
Rurik looks over at Prudence and breathes a sigh of relief, completely unaware that he had such a powerful defensive spell at his arsenal.
This one is not able to make it into melee range with you, but does make it about that far. And that's going to be the end of its turn. Next up, we have Rurik.
Oh boy. Oh man.
Well, there would be something else, but the other one has tiny little legs and couldn't make it to you. So Rurik, what you gonna be doing?
I am so glad Prudence had that spell. Oh my god. That makes me happy. Let's see. If I were to move away, would I provoke an attack of opportunity from only the dragon, or am I in range of one of the newcomers for that?
You can't be sure. You haven't seen whether they have range on their attacks or not. But you will definitely.
I thought provoking an attack of opportunity meant leaving melee range.
Right.
Unless you disengage.
Well, so let me explain my answer there for a bit. If a creature has reach, for example, if these creatures can reach 10 feet, leaving their melee range means taking a step 15 feet away from them.
Oh,
as far as you know, from what you've seen, these things have only struck at Hoyd from within 5 feet. I will say that.
Yeah, I would make the assumption that would be their melee range.
Probably.
But thank you for clarifying that. I actually did not.
For future reference, because there are enemies that have longer reach than that. So.
Yes, that is actually good to know. Just to make sure that I'm doing this correctly, because I want to ensure that I am doing this correctly. Sure. I could use my bonus action to take a swing with the spiritual weapon, and then still cast a leveled spell, correct?
Well, so using your spiritual weapon is not casting a spell, so yes.
Right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Because it's already been cast.
I misunderstood that the first time I brought this up, and I clarified with you outside the game. I just wanted to re-clarify just to make sure I'm doing it correctly.
Yes, if you attack with your spiritual weapon, that's not considered casting the spell, because the spell's already been cast. Right.
Gotcha.
Oh, you know what?
In that case,
that doesn't matter. Next turn. Anyway.
Okay. I will go ahead and use my spiritual weapon to once again attack the dragon.
Okay. Not with disadvantage because it's no longer blinded.
Correct.
21. Whew. 21 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Max
Alright.
damage.
I will say, it didn't matter what you rolled. I just wanted to know how much overkill this would be.
Oh, okay.
So you direct your spiritual weapon.
Left.
It had 1 hit point left. You direct your spiritual weapon to take a strike, and it swings down. And as the warhammer comes down across its head, it actually buries the head into the ground a few inches. And you see the body twitch and lie still.
With a All right then. With a somber and with a somber nod and gesture, I will then hurry my way over to Prudence. And hoping I don't provoke anything.
Okay. So
I'll make my way over
just straight
to
there,
Prudence.
5, 10, 15.
Yeah. And then I would like to cast Cure Wounds on Prudence.
Okay. So you cast Cure Wounds. Go ahead and roll for the healing.
Alright, just gonna make sure I got all my ducks in a row here. That's 1. Boom, and 1 plus 3. Okay.
Alrighty, so Prudence, you heal 11 points of damage. Alrighty. I believe action, bonus action, movement. That's going to be your turn. Unless you'd like to move another 10 feet.
Nope. I think I will stand
Prudence
by
just
Prudence.
dropped out of the call.
Oh, did he?
Ah.
Uh-oh. Well, somebody let him know when he gets
It
back.
looks like he's
got
on mobile.
11. He got 11 points of damage. Has been healed. Fortunately, he's not the next one up. Shigun is the next one up. What would you like to do?
Alright, let's see. Let me think for just a second.
You're a bit far from the mic. It's kind of hard to hear.
So I just let him know.
Is it possible for me to get within melee range of both the red and the black enemy?
Oh, let's see. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, I'd say so.
You can move through me too, can't you?
Or yeah, or straight through. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I couldn't quite tell where he was standing. So okay, I'm gonna get myself between the two of them, so I'm within melee range. I'm going to
Directly between them?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, one step back.
I was gonna
That
say,
way I'm
you
not-
sure about that?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to make a strike on the black
Welcome
one.
back.
Okay. Ooh. As you go to take a swing, something about it just unnerves you, and your strike falters just enough for it to duck out of the way of your sword.
Okay. I'm going to use my action surge to attempt another strike on it.
Okay. On the black one or the red
Yeah,
one?
same one. Same one.
That's a natural 20.
Oh boy, that's a crit.
Wow.
Way to make up for that miss.
That's right.
Which one was that? Was that the black or the red?
Black one.
Alrighty. I would tell you, legitimately does not matter. Don't even bother rolling.
Okay. I kind of want to see it, but.
Alright, go for it. Yeah, go for the roll and see how much it'll be, because your minimum damage will kill this thing. So.
Critical hit means you double all the dice you roll. Like you roll twice as many dice.
Yeah, you can either roll twice as many dice, or you can roll one set of dice and double them, and then add your bonus. It's up to you.
That's too much work. I'll just call it dead.
Okay.
I thought you wanted to see the numbers.
Now, since I succeeded
So,
on an attack,
Which one was that? I'm sorry.
that was the black one.
That's the black one. Alrighty, you come by, and with a mighty backswing, you just and it scatters along the ground. You can see a piece of the arcane nature, the energies that were holding it together, just scatter into the air, and it's now nothing but a bunch of twigs on the ground.
Okay, I'm going to use my combat maneuver sweeping attack to hit the other one.
Your combat maneuver. I'm sorry.
Sweeping attack.
Sweeping attack. Okay. You can spend one superiority die. Yes. Alrighty.
Okay.
If the original
Okay,
attack roll would hit the second creature, yes, it does.
Excuse me. Prudence is having some serious technical difficulties and cannot see the stream or hear the voice chat.
Okay.
I know. I'm texting
we'll,
it. to him.
We'll keep
Or
him
typing
apprised
it.
as we go along. Because we have other turns that are going before his. So another creature. So the original attack roll would hit it. So go ahead and roll your superiority die to roll the damage for it.
Is that just the 1d8? Does that add any modifiers?
No modifiers, just the die roll.
I thought so.
Let me just cross that one off the list there. Let me just cross that one off the list too. And in an arcing motion, you sweep by, and this one doesn't scatter, but you do cut through it, and it falls into 2 pieces onto the ground.
I was expecting them to be far more threatening.
Yeah, right. That's kind of why I went all out. But hey, I'm glad I got rid of 2 of them.
Yeah, right? I thought they were going to kill Prudence.
Yeah, right.
I was scared.
Well, they might. You never know.
Alrighty. That's the end of your
I was
turn.
kind of counting some numbers they conceivably could have.
Now it's duplicates. Alrighty.
Ouija.
If you have 3 duplicates, 6 or higher, change your type. 1 duplicate. Alrighty. So it's now Prudence's turn. So Prudence is going to, seeing the creatures that have come up against him and the injuries that he's sustained, he's going to mutter a couple of words and cast Mirror Image. And to represent that, I forgot he had the spell, so I wasn't prepared. Let's see. What do I want to use to represent his mirrors? I'm going to use a crab and a
Do you have a
hedgehog.
Do you have like a cap or something?
Like
a soda
No.
cap?
I have other figures. I'm trying to decide which
Oh.
other figures to use. I'm going to use a crab to represent his illusory duplicate. Let me, if I can get it into the stand. There we go. There's one. And a hedgehog for the other.
It creates 2 of them?
Yes, so you create 3 illusory duplicates in your space, and they constantly shift. So they're actually more or less like this, just like on top of him. And they're constantly shifting and moving. I'm just doing this so I can keep track of how many he has. And he's going to move out of attack range. I'm going to say he's going to move his full movement, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Doing so will provoke an attack of opportunity. But Mirror Image makes that real easy. Let's see. Hang on.
Wait. Are the mirror images on top of him, or do they remain in the place he cast them?
They're in the same space as him.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll hit. So. Shush, stop making sense. After disengaging. So, that would have been a hit, but he's disengaging instead. So. Just as a heads up, if you guys are having me take your actions for you, I'm not going to do anything you don't tell me to do, so just keep that in mind.
You can disengage as a bonus action?
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, maybe.
Prudence can't.
Only rogues can. No. Oh,
Yeah, no, it's an action.
yeah. You can't do that.
Uh-oh. Mirror Image is an action. Yeah.
What does mirror image
Retcon,
actually
multi-class.
do then?
Say again? Rurik? Alrighty. It was an 18 plus 2, so it rolled a 20, which would have been his AC with shield. So it does
Does attacker
hit.
go to the defender or attacker?
However, it's meets it beats it. If you meet the AC, you beat it. And the way Mirror Image works is he now rolls a d20 to see if it hits a duplicate instead. Which, if you have 3 duplicates, which he currently does, you must roll a... Oh, good lord. You must roll a 6 or higher. So unfortunately, he rolled a 5. Yeah. So it does hit him. It doesn't hit the duplicate. But this thing is weak shit. So yeah. I keep rolling ones. I'm gonna put this D4 away. He takes 3 points of slashing damage. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna set this D4 aside. I'm gonna put it in the bag. And I'm not gonna use it for the rest of the night because I keep rolling ones on this D4. Alrighty. So as it, as he steps away, the creature, it'll be fine. Oh dear. He actually takes 2 opportunity attacks because he moved out of melee range from these 2 creatures. Oh boy. Let's see if the other one makes it. Yeah, that's a 21.
Oh, excellent. I believe Prudence has audio and visuals now.
Yeah, so 2 opportunity attacks because there were 2 people within melee range of him that he stepped away from. Yeah, so it hits a duplicate instead. This time, the mirror image spell works as intended. And
so that's what it does. That's
yes,
neat. I like that spell.
Correct. It hits a duplicate. So now one of the duplicates. He actually has 3 duplicates. So you have 2 left. Oh, that's right. You have audio back again, so I don't need to keep typing shit. Okay. So this one, the dragon creature does strike out, and it manages to hit one of your duplicates, which just disappear.
The equivalent of magical hats.
More or less, yeah. But you do manage to get away with one hit point. Alrighty, Zook, it's your turn.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I have a question.
Sure, what's up?
Can I use Prestidigitation to set an arrow on fire?
Do you have an arrow that's prepared to be lit on fire? Because like that's a thing. You wrap twine around it and dip it in wax and stuff. Is it like prepared to be set on fire?
I mean, I don't know. I bought a bunch of arrows. I might have got some of that sort.
I'd say let me take a quick check if there's more advice on this, because I would say probably not, because typically like flaming arrows are a specific thing that you can either that's not what I wanted to do, that you can either prepare or you can purchase, or like you can dip them in oil to make them flammable. But arrows by default, they're made of wood, but they're not flammable in the sense that like if you light them on fire, it'll just break them apart. Like the shafts will burn and fall apart.
I have oil.
How much time do you want to do this?
I was gonna say let me see how much. I think it's probably an action, but to coat a weapon.
My plan was if I'm able to light an arrow on fire, I want to fire a flaming arrow at the downed tree to set it on fire.
Oh, the tree. Okay. Let me see. So the mechanic... You have a flask of oil?
Well, I have 2. But I
two
just want
flasks
to
of
use,
oil?
like, prestidigitation to...
Yeah, the
something.
The mechanics for a flask of oil in the PHP is you can either, as an action, splash the oil onto a creature within 5 feet of you, or throw it up to 20 feet, which shatters it on impact. The oil is treated as an improvised weapon, so you get your ability modifier, but not your proficiency die, or your proficiency bonus rather. And if it hits, the target's covered in oil. I would say if you do cover a target in oil, you can use prestidigitation to light it. It's flammable enough for that.
Like, at range?
You can throw it up to 20 feet.
Can I light it on fire at range?
Prestidigitation, yeah. What's the range of prestidigitation?
It's like 60 foot or something.
Yeah, it's quite a
10 feet.
distance.
Is it only 10, really?
Prestidigitation
Oh, it
is
is.
really only 10 feet?
Wow.
Oh, look at that. Well, you can from 10 feet away. Yes, you can.
That's crazy.
Do I have enough movement to, like, set the tree on fire and then end up back at the tree, back at my smaller tree?
Back here, no. You only have 25 feet of movement. 5, 10, 15, 20. Well, so 5, 10 will get you within 20 feet. 15 will get you within 10 feet. And then you can take 10 feet back to get 1 away from the tree than you were before.
Well, in that case, then I figure that's impractical, and I'm just gonna...
And prestidigitation is an action, so you'd have to do that on another turn.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna... Note to self, buy some flammable arrows. Also, I'm gonna... I should get, like, trick arrows of whatever varieties exist. But anyway, I'm gonna, like... I assume I need to hide behind... I'm just gonna call the tree I'm standing next to the tree, and the one on the road the log. I assume I need to hide behind the tree again to get a sneak attack.
Right, you're
on
not
the
currently
dragon.
Right, you're not currently stealth. Attacking breaks stealth, so you can roll another stealth check if you like.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
And just do a boop, 5 feet back. Okay. Alrighty, so you duck back behind the tree again. Then you're gonna go ahead and take your attack.
I assume he doesn't see me, so I can...
Well, that's one of those things you'll find out when it happens.
Do I get advantage on this or not?
So you rolled a 16. What's his wisdom bonus? I didn't actually do the math because I'm stupid. Perception plus 3. Yeah, he rolled an 18 on his perception, so unfortunately he did see you. Or he does see you.
Then I'm gonna
It's
take
not-
my action to hide again, because I'm sick of this happening.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another stealth. I'll say you can take a step out, deliberately break stealth, and then take a step back in for an 18. Okay, good to know.
Does that hide me? Am I now not visible?
From your current position, you wouldn't be able to tell, but you'll know next turn. Let's see.
Like, okay,
It's so
I'm
it's
very frustrated at the dice right now.
stealth in combat is a little rough. Like it you can use it to get the sneak attack, but it is contested by the creature's perception check. They make a perception check
Wait a
to see
minute.
if they see you.
Can I, instead of hiding that second time, could I, instead of doing that, like cast color spray?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Because I want to do that again, to try and hit
Alrighty. So you
Like
go
the
ahead and
dragon
cast
little
color
foot
spray.
creatures.
It's a 15-foot cone. So do you want to hit the dragon and the newcomer, the stick?
Yeah, and then
So you can
preferably
move
the other one without hitting
Right about
Rurik.
there. Let's see. 5, 10. I'm just trying to think how that would be angled. In order to, yeah, unfortunately the space here you can't hit all three, and not hit
Okay.
Rurik, but you can hit these two safely.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit the 2.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead and
crazy.
roll a d6. So
Like,
roll
do I,
6
do I have to be
D10.
that close in order for it to hit?
It's a 15-foot cone. If you want to hit the
I guess I
dragon,
do.
then yes.
Okay, I guess I do. Alright. So I'm just gonna
Actually,
do that,
don't
and then I'm gonna move back to the
don't
tree.
bother rolling your 60-10 because there's only 2 creatures in the cone. Starting with the creature, it is blinded. Okay, so this is a blindness ability. Oh, sorry. Yes, you do have to roll the 60-10 because that's how many hit points you can affect. Go ahead and roll 60-10. I misread it. I was like, the total is how many creatures can be affected. No, that's ridiculous. Go ahead and roll your 60-10. That's 30. The overlay didn't update, but that's a 30. Alrighty. They are blinded. So, this one, you see this creature here. Actually, you step out from behind the tree and you release the color spray coming out from your fingertips, and you see. Tell me how many foot. Alright, I just haven't used the spell in a while, so I have to reread. Okay. And as the light fades and you look past, the creatures within the radius appear to be unaffected.
What?
As the creature here turns to look at you, you notice that it has no eyes.
Okay, what about the dragon?
Well, the dragon, from what you can gather, was not affected by 30 hit points. That's what the roll is. It's how many hit points of creatures the spell can affect.
Aren't we 0 for 2 with that spell?
Alrighty. Is that... Let me see. So you moved... 5, 10, 15, 20. You have 5 more feet of movement. Or you
Have
can
I
stay
used
where
my
you are.
bonus action yet?
You did. You used your bonus action to hide.
Okay.
And then broke stealth to cast color spray.
Okay, out of character, I am very upset.
Yeah, it's rough.
Literally everything I've tried wasn't possible or didn't work.
That's how it was that last time we had combat.
Every session has a chance to be that way. I've had a few of them recently too.
I'm going to go to the tree. I'm going to start going behind the tree.
Okay.
On my
There's 5 more
subsequent turns
turns.
until I think of something, I'm just going to continue hiding behind the tree.
Okay. So you make your... Right now you have the 5 feet of movement, so I just moved you back toward where the tree is. And that is going to be your turn. Action, bonus action, that's all your movement. Okay. Now it's the... Now it's the dragonoid creature's turn, the one that's left.
Sorry for being upset.
No, it's rough. You're right. I would say you're not out of line for being upset
Sometimes
at these
things happen.
particular creatures. Now it comes to the dragonoid creature's turn, and it will turn and look at the space that's around it, noticing its fallen comrade, and rear up and just let out a shriek, and it will actually use its turn to jump. Let's see. 20 feet, climb, fly. Okay, so it will take a jump and move here, and take the rest of its movement to move on top of the log there. It's skittering away from you. That's going to be its turn. Back up at the top, Hoyd.
Alright, so it jumped up there. Does it look like it was trying to run away from us, or does it look like it was just repositioning?
It hasn't turned back to face you. Put it that way. It's still facing away from you.
Hang on 1 second. That changes what I was doing a little bit. That's a good question, actually. Does Zook still have comprehend languages up?
Should.
Comprehend languages lasts an hour, and it's not concentration, so yes, he would.
Okay.
It's weird that one of the messages went through and not the other on the overlay. That's odd.
I don't know if now's the time for this, but I'm not sure I like this table vibe where like each of us has our own plans for what to do on following turns, but we don't want to tell each other about it because of reasons.
You can certainly talk as you're doing an action.
Well, I mean, you can say individual things to each other. I just don't want like people taking 2 or 3 minutes to talk amongst each other in the middle of combat, because you can't really do that. You can say things to each other.
Well, yeah, but instead of that, we're taking 2 or 3 minutes to not talk in the middle of combat.
Right, this is also true.
I don't know. I'm
would
just
encourage-
frustrated because like each of us has our own plans, but we're not communicating about the plan, so we always end up stepping on each other's toes.
Alright, so I'm going to look at the dragon on top of the tree, and I'm going to cast Phantasmal Force on it.
Phantasmal Force.
Yes, it's a.
I remember you told me about that,
13.
and I forgot what it is. Oops.
It's an illusion spell. Phantasmal Horse, exactly. It's an illusion spell that only it can see. And
Okay.
it's real enough that it actually can do damage.
Makes an intelligence saving throw. You create a phantasmal object, creature, blah blah blah. Phantasm includes sound, other stimuli. Only object, creature, target can use action to examine with an investigation check against your spells you see. Alrighty, so it's an intelligence check. What is your save DC?
13.
13. It's proficient in 5 saving throws, and intelligence is not one of them. So let's see how this goes.
Please.
That's a 9.
Yes. Please? Yes, total?
Total, yes. I mean, plus 1.
Excellent.
But 10, but yeah.
I'm going to have it see the other Drake get up and walk over and start attacking him.
Okay. Alrighty, yeah.
All the
so,
same damage is already existing.
Okay. Yeah, you can, let me double check the wording. So you can have the phantasm. I'm actually going to...
I'm going to raise it right next to him.
What I'm going to use... Oh, you're going to bring it up right next to him. Okay.
Right. So it... But through the source, he justifies it, got up and moved to him.
Right.
But it actually
The-
exists right next to him.
Due to the way Phantasmal Force works, yes. So you raise it up, and you bring it next to it, and it can deal... each round on your turn, the Phantasm can deal 1d6 psychic damage to the target if it is in the Phantasm's area or within 5 feet, provided the illusion is of a creature or hazard that could logically deal damage.
Correct.
Okay. So you can go ahead and deal 1d6 psychic damage this turn. I don't believe...
Can I do it this turn? Each round on your turn.
I believe you
Yeah?
can, yeah. I don't see why you couldn't. Because it doesn't
Alright,
say you
sure.
have to
I'll
take
throw
an
it.
action. It's just each round your turn it does that thing. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah, so
It's a
go ahead and
thought.
roll a d6.
That's 6 damage.
6? Alrighty. Gotta do the math now. Alrighty. So, each of you sees the creature suddenly start and take a half a step backward. Zook, you hear a very nasty word uttered in the language that it speaks. And you see it rear back as if struck. None of you see anything, but you see it rear back as if struck, and it clutches its side. Okay, is that going to be your turn?
Nope.
You're going to move
And
it
then
all?
I'm going to... I'm within 60 feet of Prudence, right?
Yes, you are. Let me actually... You're far enough away. Yeah, you're within 60 feet.
Did Prudence get healing?
He did.
I
He's
healed
at
him with 11.
12 hit points, thanks to Rurik's Cure Wounds, was it?
Yeah, it was Cure Wounds. So he was at 1, then plus 11, so
Yeah.
12. Alright,
Alright, so what are we doing?
I'm gonna move just behind Pink, so I can flank with Rurik.
Okay. 5, 10, 15. Oh, I forgot to bump this down by 1. Because Spiritual Weapon has been out for a round. 9.
Alright, and that's all I can really do right now.
Okay. Now it is the newcomer's turn. As you look over, you see peeling themselves off of the tree. 1, 2, 3, 4 more of the bark creatures, as it were, and they kind of peel themselves off the tree and fall to the ground and practically trip on themselves getting up. The ones that are already out, this one is going to take a strike at Rurik, because he was already there. That's going to be an 11, so that misses. This one... Yeah, this one's actually going to go 10 feet next to Zook and try and strike him as well. That is also an 11, which misses. This one here, who's 5 feet, goes to slash at, finally, 22. Which is a natural 20 on its side against Shigun. Which sucks because it's a D4, so whatever. But
Shigun, remember you still have that temporary hit points.
I know, I lost some of it earlier though.
That's why I want to make sure you're keeping track.
Yeah, I have 1 temporary left.
this one. So that's gonna be, yeah, that's gonna be 5 points of slashing damage. Whoa, watch out. This one here is gonna move and do the same. Not with an 11, it's not. This one's gonna move up 1, 2, and slash at Hoyd's behind. Not with a 10, it's not. This one's gonna move into range as well. 5, 10, 15, 25, that's as far as it can get. Rurik, you're up.
Oh joy. These things just keep on appearing, don't they? Ah.
Is there anyone... Prudence, make a nature check.
No.
And if anyone is proficient in nature, you can also do a nature check at this point. I don't know what your proficiencies are, but if anyone else is proficient in nature, you can make a check.
What do you want to call a bard?
I'm not proficient. Could I still make a check?
Sure. Do you have Jack of all trades yet, Boyd?
I do.
I didn't realize you got that early. Then yeah, you're proficient in everything, really.
I have proficiency with an herbalism kit. Would that grant me proficiency with nature?
It would not, unfortunately.
It's an 18 on my nature check.
On your nature check. Okay. It wasn't a lot. So Prudence and Hoyd, you both recognize these creatures. Depends on how you look at things. All plants are just big herbs.
In that case, I'd like to think that my thing works.
So Hoyd and Prudence, you both recognize them as being twig blights. They're small creatures. They're usually spawned when there's some kind of evil influence over a plant. Not incredibly strong, but also incredibly angry. Whether or not they're in league with the dragon-like creature is kind of you wouldn't know. Hoyd, you haven't heard of that happening before. Twigblades working with anything, so
They just more exist.
yeah, they're kind of there. They're, I believe,
Like an animalistic thing.
sort of, yeah.
So they're a thing that appears when you're evil to plants.
Kind of. Intelligence of 4 is what it boils down to. They're just kind of there. Whether or not this creature is deliberately bringing them on is a different question, but they're not intelligent enough to be working with other creatures beyond themselves. Which is why they're not flanking Shigun right now. Because they don't have a mind for tactics. So, Rurik, apologies for interrupting your turn. What would you like to do?
No, you're fine.
Rurik?
Just to confirm I'm looking at this correctly, there is one of the red, there's a red one right in front of me between me and Boyd, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it's pink, but yeah, the colors are off on this camera, so yes.
It's hard for me to tell the colors exactly. And then there is another one behind Boyd.
There... Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, let me actually rearrange that so they're easier to see. Yeah, there's a blue one back here.
Okay, I got you.
So actually, now that I think about it, the blue one should have swung at you with advantage, but it's too late. I've already lost it, so it's fine.
Each square here is 5 feet, right?
Correct.
Excellent, I can move that within range. I will use my bonus action to bring my spiritual weapon over here and attack the one between me and Hoyd.
Okay. You move it 20 feet, and it goes ahead and makes an attack. It's the pink one.
Let's see. Well, I'd prefer to crit on something more substantial, but okay. I'm just gonna assume it's going to disintegrate.
Roll. Are you gonna double, or are you gonna roll 2 dice?
I'll probably just roll 2 dice.
Either way, I'm gonna make you roll. So.
Okay.
Because you have no modifier.
I don't.
Not on spiritual weapon. I don't think. Is there? Or is it with
I haven't
your
read that in a long time.
spellcasting mod? I lied. It's with your spellcasting mod. Don't bother rolling. It has 3 hit points, so literally, if you roll 2 ones, it doesn't matter. It'll still kill it. The spiritual weapon floats over, and with an upswing, actually sends the thing scattering up into the air. And over here, Zook, you actually feel sticks falling from the sky as they pelt you from this one that's been just obliterated.
Isn't this just a great day?
Rain and sticks.
Alrighty, so that's your bonus action.
Alright. Not 100% sure on how much movement is here, but
Well, you have 25 feet, so that's 5 squares.
yeah, I know. I'm just. It's hard for me to get a bearing on like the position I'd want to move here to. Would I be able to move in such a position as to flank the one behind Hoyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 feet will bring you right around to the other side.
Okay, cool.
Well, so I'll get in a line.
Do what?
Just a
Just all
conga
get in
line
a
of
line.
death.
I'm going to smash that one with a hammer.
Okay. Yeah, 14 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage. It's the blue one. Yeah. So this time, coming from up above, you bring the hammer down, and when you brought the hammer down, you had sort of closed your eyes, and when you open your eyes again, there's just nothing there anymore. It's crumbled into the ground, and there's enough dirt on the ground that it's just become part of the debris that's on the ground. So that's gone.
And I would like to turn around and face towards the dragon.
Okay.
And make a this is the part I'm bad with things at. I'm just gonna yell at him to drop the parry app that I attempted to give him.
Alrighty. So because
That he took.
at this point you really kind of only have your free action left, so you turn to him and just shout, "Drop it!" That's about all you have time for left on this turn.
That would work.
Yes, no take backsies, as Prudence says.
No take backs.
Alright, so that's the end of your turn, Shigun.
Okay, so the dragon guy, he's up on top of the fallen tree, right?
Correct.
Would it be possible for me to attempt to use my Ring of the Ram and aim where he's standing to try to knock him off and back down?
I want to say yes. Ring of the Ram is what, 60 feet?
It is. I'm just not sure how that would work in terms of rolling. Like,
Well, you'd also probably would knock him forward rather than backward.
Well,
towards
so
us.
Ring of the Ram, Okay, you roll with a +7 bonus, and it takes 2d10 force damage if you hit, and it's pushed 5 feet away from you.
Okay.
God damn it, Prudence.
Yes, the Ring of the Ram lets you run d20 more Chrome tabs.
Oh, please add that to the actual item.
Well,
I could.
the idea is to try
That's
to.
right.
The idea is to try to damage or destroy the part he's on, so that way he would.
Oh, you're looking to.
Could you hit the tree underneath him?
Yeah,
I see.
push
You're,
the tree
you're
out?
looking to break the object. Okay.
Right.
In that
way
case, you can have it make a strength. You can use the ram and have it make a strength check. You get
Okay.
+5 for each charge used. You're attempting to break through the tree below it, correct?
Right.
Okay. Actually, you know what? Rather than a strength check, why don't I have you... I'll have you make an attack roll against the tree.
Okay.
And it'll make sense why in a minute. And with the
Alright,
Ring of the Ram, you get a +7 bonus.
Right.
And the target takes 2d10 force damage per charge you use. So how many charge would you like to use?
I'm going to use 2 charges.
2 charges, okay? Go ahead
Did I
and roll
just
for the
my
attack.
Just d20 +7.
Correct. 14.
Also,
It's an immobile tree. You hit it. So go ahead and roll 4d10. And that's how much force damage you've dealt to it. 27 points of damage. All right. So you okay. I had to reread the wording. It doesn't say you make a ranged attack, because if it had been a ranged attack, the attack would have been made at disadvantage, but it's not. It doesn't specify that, so you're fine.
No, it's prone.
No, because he has enemies within melee.
Okay.
That would give him
Could've been
disadvantage on a
even
ranged
worse.
attack. However, it doesn't specify that, so it's not a ranged attack, so you're fine. You lash out with the Ring of the Ram, pouring a little bit of energy into it that you know how to use, and as the spectral ram head appears and slams into the bark below the creature, you actually see the bark. It buckles and breaks pretty easily, and out from the tree you see this black ooze start to pour out from it, like the texture of sap, but like almost like tar, almost solid black, starting to ooze out from the hole. And as a result of that, our creature will have to make a dexterity saving throw, which it will fail with a 12 on, as this whole space here is now covered in this tar-like substance, and it falls into the substance and tries to pull itself free, but appears to be restrained in the material that has been coming out of the tree.
got him.
And and you see
Well done.
as it contacts this material, you see it and starts to panic. And Zook, you hear it start to shout like no in its language.
Don't touch the black stuff.
Don't touch them. I hope not.
I'm
can't
gonna
believe that
yell.
worked.
I'm gonna yell at the dragon yes, just to demonstrate that I can understand it talking.
Alrighty.
And
You
also
shout
that
over.
I hate it very much.
Yes. You shout yes back to it. It seems a bit
Yes,
preoccupied
yes,
to
yes,
respond, but I'm sure it knows. Alrighty. So that's gonna be your action. Are you gonna move at all?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to keep my ground so that way these guys don't go after the rest of the party.
Alrighty, so you're gonna stay where you are. Now we have Prudence. Okay, so you're gonna toll the dead. That's within range. It has to make a wisdom saving throw versus 13. You know what's great about Twig Blights is that they get -1. That's a 5. -1 is a 4, so they fail. Go ahead and roll your d12.
Every hostile, not including Zook.
Good lord. 11 points of damage. So, it's necrotic damage?
Yep.
Correct? Yeah. I should know. I have a cleric that uses that spell constantly. I had a cleric. I haven't touched that cleric character in a while, but yes, no, that's fine. I was just making sure there are certain
just dusty
resistances that it has. So you turn and point and release the Toll the Dead spell, and Zook, you can hear around you the sound of gonging and loud, like almost brass bells ringing throughout the air. And as Prudence shouts over to you, you're doing well, don't give up. And you turn back to the Twig Blight that's standing next to you, and it's scattered along the ground.
This is the first time that you've rolled good on Toll of the Dead. You're not wrong.
That was the gray one, so that's gone. Alrighty. And then you said you're going to move to be outside 60 feet. The nearest enemy to you is here. 10, 15. To be outside 60 feet, you're going to be off the bottom here. So I'm just going to put you here. You're about 20 feet further off the bottom of the map. Just remember that, because I definitely won't. Alrighty, that's going to be your turn, I believe. Now we come up to Zook's turn.
Please tell me I can get advantage on an attack against an enemy who is ensnared.
Restrained?
Let's take a look at what restrained condition. Restrained creature's speed becomes 0. Attacks rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws. So yes, restrained creatures, all attack rolls against them are at with advantage.
Okay. I'm going to shoot at the dragon
Alrighty.
with advantage.
With your short bow, yep, you
Finally.
shoot with advantage. And if you hit, you do get sneak attack because you have advantage.
Why? Why these? Why? Why is this numbers? Why is this not? Can I
Unfortunately,
just do that again? Can I just roll it again?
Fortunately, a 12 won't hit. What does happen this time? You go and you draw your bow and you release the arrow, and it does actually. You do see it actually strike the creature, but it deflects off of its scaled hide.
Okay, I'm gonna charge it.
Okay. So, 5,
It's
10,
gonna get
15,
in melee range.
25
what?
puts you there. You can use a bonus action to dash to get into melee range if you'd like.
No, I'm fine here.
Okay.
I'm fine
So
here.
use your movement to go there. Is that going to be your turn?
My one goal is to kill this dragon. Yes, that is my turn.
Alrighty. Now it becomes the thing's turn. It looks around, panicked, and it is going to attempt to break free. Not with a 1, it's not. So it's going to stay right where it is and do nothing, because it has nothing else that it can do. Back up to the top of the initiative order. At the top of the round, the sap, tar, whatever it is, spreads out further in a 15-foot cone. This area here, as it's bleeding out of the tree, is now Hoyd's turn.
Alright, so I'm gonna make my Phantasm attack it again.
Okay, which I think is just a d6. You don't even have to roll, I think, right?
Right.
Alright, throw your d6.
That's 3 damage. 3 damage.
3.
And
What
that's round 2 of that. I've got a counter for my 10 rounds.
It counts to 10? Okay.
It's a minute.
It's a minute, yeah, so I'll just put my little marker. Actually, I have another d10, so I'm going to do this. It says 90, but it actually means 9. So.
I just had an idea.
Okay, that works. So as long as you keep track of it, I don't have to. That makes sense.
What's your idea, Zook?
That's strange.
I'm gonna wait until it gets to my attack.
Actually,
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait until it gets to my turn again
Okay.
before I say the idea.
If it's, I will say this: if it's less than 5 words, you can just say it in the middle of combat. It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on
It's the sort
doing.
of thing that
As long
it's
as you don't
just
have.
gonna be awkward if I say it and then we wait like 10 minutes before I actually do it.
Okay. Alrighty. Next up,
So,
we
Nope,
have the.
I'm not
Sorry,
done
not the end of your turn.
no, I'm not done. That was just happens. I haven't actually done anything on my turn yet.
That just happens.
Right. Did we determine these things have reach?
They haven't provided any evidence of it.
Okay. I'm going to slash at the thing I can't see. Did Rurik kill that?
Yes, it did. Yes, he did.
So there's nothing in
currently
between. There's nothing.
1, 2, 3 of the stick creatures, twig blights, and there's one of the dragon-esque creatures.
Okay. I'm going to move south of the white creature.
Okay. 5, 10, 15.
There you go. And I'm going to slash at the white creature.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's a 23.
Let me check. Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead, roll damage.
That's 4 damage.
4 damage to the white one. Just gonna cross that off the list there. As you actually, nope, had to double check something. It does not have resistance to piercing damage. As you flourish your rapier again, you go and you stab into it, and around your rapier, it seems like the whole thing just condenses into a mass, and it just drops to the ground in a solid piece of wood, and you pull your rapier out of it. As whatever
Rolled a 1 on
it's
my
made out
damage.
of. Yeah, so congratulations, minimum damage kills these things.
Yay!
Numbers, that's all they've got.
Yep. And then I'm gonna
Prudence,
say
make a
out
perception
loud
check.
to Rurik and Rurik and Zook, don't touch the ooze.
Yeah, I'm staying far. I'm gonna get away from that.
Prudence, make a perception check. 2. It's there. That's for sure. Alright, is that going to be your turn, Hoyd?
What was this
Yeah,
about
that-
the ooze? I kind of zoned.
Does it look like it's taking damage from the ooze?
Hoyd, what did you say to Zook?
Alright.
To Rurik and Zook, don't touch the ooze.
Okay. Rurik, you're up.
I'm just gonna flash a grin at that.
Prudence from 60 feet away goes, why not? So Rurik, what's up?
Let's see. I went for something outside. Sorry, we have a
my house is being assailed with the odor of what we think to be a skunk, and we're unsure of where it's coming from.
Go invite it inside.
Yeah, that's what Shigun is doing. Anyway,
That reminds me, once this session is over, there's snow. It's snowing outside, so I should go out to the snow.
oh, nice. Is what do I want to do? When moving diagonally in one of these squares, is it still 5 feet?
So it's a little weird. In D&D, moving diagonally is 5 feet and then 10 feet. So it'd be 5, 15, 20, 25. Sorry, I did the math wrong. 5, 15, 20, and then it would be 30, so you can't actually move 4 squares diagonally. It's a little weird.
That is strange.
That's to try and approximate that it is literally a longer distance diagonal units.
Yeah, it's a bit... D&D's a bit mushy when it comes to diagonals.
Because otherwise you'd be able to do some, like, strafing stuff and basically cheat.
Kind of. The whole thing about a squared plus b squared equals c squared and all that shit, so...
That's
Right.
good.
Right. I am going to...
The square root of 50 is actually very close to 7. So you could just say that it takes 7 movement to go diagonally.
I'm going to make my way over to the yellow twig blight on the other side of Shigun.
The other side, okay. So it'd be 5, 15, 20, 25. Or 20,
Yep.
actually just gets you right between the two. Not directly between, but within melee range of both.
And I'm going to swing at that one with the hammer.
Okay. Yep, go ahead and roll damage. Okay. That's the yellow one. Just gonna cross that off the list. You just kind of like get into its presence intimidatingly, and it falls apart preemptively before you even have a chance to swipe at it. They're not strong creatures. No, you actually do. You make contact with it and fling it pretty hard, actually up against that tree, and it just goes right down.
I am not going to be inviting the plague.
Yes.
They ring around the rosy with that.
Yeah. Are you gonna do anything with your spiritual weapon?
I sure am. I'm going to have it approach
Oh, I forgot.
the
Sorry.
remaining
I keep-
light.
I forgot to have it tick down. So
What's it
5,
ticking
10,
down?
15 feet. It's because it's only around for a minute. I was just counting down, but I forgot last round.
Oh,
So
okay.
15 brings it within range. Go ahead and make an attack with it.
Makes sense. I sure am. Plan. Oh. Okay then.
Yeah, unfortunately 8 won't hit. It comes up and it's actually you and Shigun both can feel the impact when the warhammer slams into the ground. But the twig blight seems unaffected.
Well dragged.
Alrighty, so that's going to be your turn, because that's all your moving bonus action. Shigun. Mr. Fortemps.
So, how many of these buggers are left? Just the one?
Just the one that you can see.
Oh, of course.
Everyone's favorite phrase, huh?
Yes. Well,
Whose turn?
Shigun.
What's that?
No.
Yeah.
Is it not?
No, that's the joke. Keep going.
Oh. Well, I'm going to do what I do best and beat up the orange one with my sword.
Okay. Alrighty, go ahead and roll damage.
Alright.
This time, when you come across it with your long sword, You cleave directly through it, and it falls solid into 2 pieces onto the ground.
Nice.
So now all that remains is the dragon-like creature on top of the tree there. Is that going to be your turn? Are you going to move it off?
I think I'll stay here just because of the encroaching ooze.
Okay. One could say it's the smooze because no one can stop it.
Oh no.
Dark, dank, and dreary.
Alrighty. Prudence. Are you just gonna chill 60 feet out? Toll the D. Alright, well, to do that, so you're 20 feet out, 20 feet gets you to here. 10 feet of your remaining movement gets you there. What's the range on Toll the Dead? 60 feet? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Just within range. Wisdom saving throw. That's a 7. Roll your d10. Sorry, 12. D12. Sorry. I was looking at a D10 when I said that. I don't know why. Good lord. 2 good Toll the Deads in a row. Alrighty.
What is this magic?
Blah, 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 blah. That many hit points. And once again, you release the magic of the spell, and everyone around, you can hear these crashing of bells and this enormously loud noise. None of you are affected by it, but this creature seems to be very shaken by it, and it flinches, and you can see a little bit of like bluish colored blood start to dribble it down out of one of its nostrils. Okay, is that going to be your turn? Okay, so at your distance you shout, surrender what you stole, and I'll let you leave. Alrighty. Zook, it is your turn.
Okay, is it holding the trinket?
Make a perception check to see if it's doing that from here.
I mean, I'm standing like right here, so.
Well, it is 4 feet up, and you're only 3 foot something, so it is above your line of sight.
My passive perception is 16.
Right. So you're in this situation. This is more of an active versus passive. However, you did not see it drop it, and you don't see it anywhere around you. The only conclusion that you can come to is it's either with him or in his immediate arm's reach, claw's reach.
Okay, I'm going to.
Or it ate it. Who knows?
I'm going to use my mage hand and hold it under the surface of the liquid until it stops moving.
Oh.
Oh. To like push it down. Okay. Let me. Mage hand isn't incredibly strong, so let me double check the abilities of that. Hand can attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. I will say make a strength check. What did I do before? I believe it was -2 was the modifier for mage hand. Whatever it was when I had you try and pull the thing from Hoyd. I think it was -2.
I don't remember what that was.
I'd say make a strength check. The modifier for mage hand is -2. It's not incredibly strong. I mean, it should be less, but that's...
If this doesn't work, I'm climbing up on the log and I'm doing it myself.
Which I think you can do this as a bonus action as an arcane trickster. So, however, even with your 9, you still get it because it rolled a 1. Plus 2 is 3. So you manage to, with your mage hand, take a hold of the creature's skull and push it down into the tar-like substance. You don't know if it's having any immediate effect, but it is below the surface of the tar, and your mage hand is holding it down.
Like, I'm gonna concentrate on continuing to do that, and I'm also gonna step to the side so that the tar doesn't spill on me.
Okay. So you move like there. We'll find out. Alrighty. So will that be your turn?
Yes.
Alrighty. Coming down to its turn. Yes, its turn. It will attempt to make a strength check to break free of the mage hand, holding it under the surface of this tar. That's a 5. I'm just gonna use your initial value. So that's a 3 plus 2. That's a 5. It does not, so it is still submerged in the liquid, in the tar-like substance. And it's unable to do anything as a result of that. So, moving up to the top of the initiative order, we have Hoyd.
Is the ooze still spreading?
Oh yes, it is. My mistake. Thank you for reminding me. Top of the initiative order, the ooze spreads out one more layer.
Does it look like it's live or anything, or just a substance?
Make a nature check, I guess. Make a nature check.
Yeah. It's a 11.
11. It doesn't have any indication of being alive. It hasn't moved beyond spreading.
Okay, so just sort of falling out of the tree. I'm gonna make my phantasm attack it again.
Okay, roll your d6.
1 damage.
1 damage. Okay.
And I'm going to move to left past where Zook is and use Vicious Mockery on it.
This brings me joy.
It's like there.
Farther out, or maybe 2 out.
Let me see. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30.
Checking the range on Mockery. Oh, it's 60 foot, I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, from where you are, Vicious Mockery will reach, so...
Well, I'm gonna cast it no matter what. I just want to move far clear of that stuff and then maybe get a look at the edge of the tree.
Okay, so you can get up to about there.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, Vicious Mockery is a Wisdom saving throw, right?
Wisdom 13.
Yeah, that's a 4. However, does it have to be able to hear you? For Vicious Mockery to work?
If the target can hear you.
Yeah, unfortunately, you shout out with your how do you mock it? What do you say?
You reap what you sow.
Alrighty. As you mock it, you feel the arcane energy leave your lips, but you feel it dissipate as it reaches the tar. Unfortunately, the creature's auditory orifices are currently under the surface of the tar.
Great.
It's like a lizard. They're below its eyes. Alrighty. Is that going to be your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay. Next up, we have Rurik.
still have not sure what to make of this tree. I have a couple of spells I might like to use on it, but none of them are prepared.
It's a shame that emoji don't show up in the overlay. Where's Kathy Wiseluck when you need her?
That's right.
Too busy being a wonderful human being. Alrighty, what are we gonna do? Oh, I haven't been taking this down. 70.
Yeah, I've been marking it, so.
Prudence shouts from 60 feet away. Hit it!
I was thinking about using that opportunity to take a closer look at the ooze stuff, but oh well. I will.
You do still have your spiritual weapon up.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to be using that. I will have that approach and smack the dragon.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with advantage, as it is restrained.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, an 18 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Yeah, as far as the actual question, the question was floated whether you can be restrained twice. Conditions don't stack, but if one restraint source disappears, then you're still restrained by the other one. So like if you cast web, for example, and this thing breaks free of the tar, it will now have to break free of the web as well, using 2 separate actions to do so. So 9 points of damage. Okay. You draw up the spiritual weapon and you have it come down, crack, right on the creature, right about where the joint of where the wing meets its back. It's in a lot of pain, and
I hope it is.
if it could yelp, it would. Zook, you see from your position a couple of air bubbles come up from the tar. Alright, Rurik, are we going to do anything else? We're going to move? Because that's your bonus action that you used.
That was my bonus action, yes. I am going to follow up with casting a Sacred Flame.
Okay.
Because I believe as restrained, he would have disadvantage on Dex saves.
I believe... Yeah, disadvantage on Dex saves, yeah.
Excellent.
What's your save DC?
It is now 14 thanks to my adjustments.
14?
That's correct.
That's a 12 plus 4, so 16. So it does actually somehow you reach to the heavens and call down the fury of Pelor on this creature, and somehow it managed to maneuver its lizard-like body just out of the way, and the flame descends down, and you hear it sizzle as it strikes into the tar around it.
That is most unexpected. I figured I'd be able to land a solid hit with that. Anyway, I will heed Prudence's advice and back off.
Okay.
About another 50
Just keep in mind the range of your spells, that's all.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to back up 10 feet.
10 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. The range of spiritual weapon doesn't matter because once it's cast, it's cast. You don't have to worry about that. It's just like
it's practically autonomous cast.
Like Sacred Flame is what you'd have to be worried about.
That's why Sacred Weapon is so good.
Sacred Weapon is bananas broken. Alrighty, so that's gonna be your turn. Now we have Shigun.
So this dragon guy's pretty bad shape, right?
He's not in a good. You've never known anyone to be held under the surface of a fluid and have a good time. So, Prudence from his comfortable 60 feet away shouts, "Keep a good distance." I will.
From his comfortable 60 feet.
It's a comfortable distance.
I don't even know if you could land an attack without getting in the goop.
I have my crossbow, which I think I'm going to do.
Use for the first time ever.
Yeah,
More the merrier.
I'm going to draw my light crossbow and take aim and fire at the dragon.
Okay. Roll an attack. Bear in mind your modifiers with dexterity rather than strength.
Yes. Okay. +4.
Yeah, a 19 will just hit. So it's plus your...
Oh, okay.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
it's damage.
your dexterity is only +2. Yeah, so you deal 3 points of damage. 19. None of you heard that right. As you release your crossbow, you're not entirely familiar with its workings, but you've been trained, so you more or less know how it works. And you do release the bolt, and it does strike the creature. It glances off, but you do see it did actually carve a bit into its flesh before glancing off.
Okay.
Alright, you gonna move it all?
Yeah, I think I'll take 2 steps backward, the same direction Rurik went. Yeah, that way.
Okay. Alrighty. Prudence.
Oh, heck yeah.
Sleep
it's
at
like
second level.
Right on the end. No,
Oh.
right, yeah.
Oh, I just realized what that means. You people are evil.
Oh, no.
Second level. Roll an additional 2d8 for each slot above first. Okay. Roll 78.
What's impactful about second level sleep?
It's
More
just
hit points
more
thrown at it.
hit points that you cover. 30. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. I assume like this is the radius that you're doing. So. Yeah. Okay. It's you see the struggling against the mage hand, and the struggling in the tar comes to an end as the creature's body seems to just slump and roll slightly to the side. It is now
breathing on instinct now?
It is now unconscious, and there's a whole mess of things that I'm gonna have to do when its turn comes around.
Oh boy.
All right, Prudence moves up to here with his crab and hedgehog duplicates.
That was a stellar application of sleep.
Next up, we have Zook. I will say, taking a close look at this thing, it's taken a beating.
Okay.
So.
Can I
You can
cast
feel-
Prestidigitation while still holding my mage hand?
Yeah, it's not concentration, so yeah.
Okay, I'm going to set the tree on fire.
Make an intelligence check. Just a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
Actually, no. Make a survival check.
Oh.
A survival.
Because Prestidigitation has fairly limited sparking abilities. You want to make sure that you know exactly the right place to spark to make the thing catch fire. 14. Yeah. Alrighty. So looking carefully at where the bark has broken and where the sap is starting to bleed out, you catch a point right in the middle that looks dry, but the sap looks flammable, and you snap your fingers. Yeah, and you snap. Could explode, who knows? You snap your fingers and you watch as the tiny bead of flame leaps from your fingertips and alights on the surface of the wood. And you see ever so slowly it begins to spread just slightly. It's I will mark it. It's going to be about here-ish, but it is currently covering less than 5 feet of space. Actually,
I'm gonna stand back a bit.
Yeah.
Stand
So
back,
it's-
admire your handiwork.
It's right about at the edge where the sap is starting to bleed out is where it's now on fire. It's not growing quickly, but it's growing. It did catch.
I hope
So I'll
that's-
step. I'll
So you're
step
gonna
back
step
a bit,
back.
and I'll keep my mage hand where it is.
Say about 10 feet or so, 15 feet.
Yeah, that looks fine.
Alrighty, and you're gonna maintain concentration in your mage hand, keeping the creature down. Okay, it rolls to the creature's turn. There are 2 things that it has to do now. It has to make a Constitution saving throw to avoid drowning, which it fails with a 1. So it takes 1d10 damage from drowning. Okay. I just grabbed my marker to write on the paper. Yikes. Alrighty, so that's save number 1. It did take damage. So it makes the save against the sleep, not with a freaking... Oh my god, I'm gonna put this... Not with a 4, so it does not save against the sleep from taking damage. At the end of its turn... I believe it takes another save anyway, at the end of its turn. No, it doesn't. So that's it. That's its turn. It's unconscious. It took damage from drowning, and that's it. That's its turn.
Does that break sleep?
No.
Oh, does
yeah,
that
does
automatically
break
wake
sleep.
it up, or does it have to make a save?
Each creature affected by the spell falls unconscious until the sleeper takes damage.
Oh, that automatically
One of the
makes the save.
conditions.
Sorry, I thought I had to.
Right.
I thought I had to make another save. Okay, so it does awaken when it takes the damage. It takes the damage at the end of its turn, though. So that's it. It took damage. It's awake. You can see it start to struggle, but it wasn't able to make the strength saving throw at the end of its turn against the mage hand, so the mage hand's still in effect. It was only able to do one of the saves, and that save was the Constitution save, which it failed. Alrighty.
I don't think you'll need them. I respond to Prudence.
Yeah, Prudence says, I've got nothing. I'm out. Once more, the tar spreads out in the cone.
I advise the rest of you stand back a bit.
And at the top of the initiative order, actually, the flame has now spread to consume this 5-foot square right here. And this 5-foot square, why not? Right there. This was the marker that I was using for the phantasm, which is not actually a physical thing, so it's not affected at all by the fire.
Right. I have it marked anywhere.
Alrighty. Now we have Void.
So I'm going to have the phantasm step on its head and try to drown it again.
Okay.
Doesn't-
That's what it's
doesn't actually,
perceiving.
but
Yeah.
thinks it does.
Yep. That's
So
what it's perceiving.
that's why it's drowning and dying.
Not the mage
So
hand that's
this-
holding us down.
No, it's his friend. And that's 4 damage.
What a wow,
I like your style.
man! Remind me not to piss off Hoyd.
Ask the other group how I handle alignment changes. No, I'm kidding. The thing's neutral evil. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, alrighty. So that's the free action on your turn essentially, because it just does that. Phantasm is
Right.
bonkers.
And then I'm going to move on the other side of the tree.
The other side of here.
Yep. So I'm gonna
5,
move.
10, 15, 20, 20. Sorry, 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. Or like out here.
Out there, just kind of away up on the other side because we have to go that
15,
way anyway.
20, 30.
Wait, did Prudence get closer?
Yes.
Just
About
right there.
about Yonk.
About there. And then
Okay.
I'm going to find a rock to sit on and just start playing my lute. Just waiting for the
Okay.
end.
Make a quick
Waiting for
perception
the
check.
inevitable.
Make a what?
Just a quick perception check. to
Sure.
see if you find a convenient rock to sit on, or if you have to sit on the ground.
Just a
Just for flavor's
That's
sake.
It's a nat 20 for a 22.
casually
Okay.
finds a rock.
You turn to start looking for a rock, and your foot bumps against one that's about the right height, and you're just like, all right. And you take a seat right there, young Skywalker. Thanks, PK. You understand my jokes.
I thought it was funny.
I would say, I mean, technically it's prone, but it's not gonna matter. Prudence asked if that makes you prone. Kind of. Sitting's considered prone, but anyway.
I would say Prudence is prone to asking questions.
Oh.
Then again, they are.
So-
Take one for
The tar suddenly changes direction and starts going toward Rurik.
Oh, what?
No. I'm kidding.
What?
Let's see. Rurik, it is your turn. We are now over our time, just as a heads up. So once this is done, we're done.
The tar has turned toward me. Oh wow, that's.
I want to mention that I have a closing statement prepared.
Most unexpected.
Thank you for letting me know. I will. Once that happens, I'll bring you on, Zook. Good to know. Thank you. So, Rurik, what's up?
I'm scared.
It didn't actually. I was making a joke because you made a terrible pun.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was
it's
worried
just
too because I'm next to Rurik.
it's just extending outward in a cone. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, good.
You genuinely spooked me there, because I
No.
thought it suddenly gained sentience and was going after me.
Suddenly. I mean, what?
Well, okay, fine. Still, I, as I've attested to before, I do not into sarcasm very well.
Alrighty. So what are we gonna be doing?
I'm gonna hit him with the spiritual weapon again.
Okay. Make an attack with advantage.
Huzzah!
Yeah, that'll. Actually, no. 16 won't hit.
Nope, it wouldn't.
So you pull up the force of Pelor and you drive the weapon down, but it seems to miss. You don't have a great angle on it, and it seems to miss just slightly. You see actually the tar bubble up as the weapon impacts into it, and it just splashes down the side of the tree harmlessly.
Alright then. Then I shall once again cast Sacred Flame.
Alrighty.
Actually, wait, am I in range for that? That's 60.
60. Yeah, you're within 60 feet.
I shall once again
You're-
call upon Pelor's Sacred Flame.
That is a 23. So
Oof.
unfortunately, that saves again. Even with disadvantage, you got a 19 and a 5. So, of course, the 19 was on the die that I haven't been rolling all night. So I think I'm gonna keep rolling that die the rest of the night. Anyway,
That's all for me. Did you
so
take
once
down
again,
the, did you take down the spiritual weapon?
not yet. I was gonna do that at the end of the turn after I did my description. But once again, you pull down the strength of Pelor on this creature, and you're not sure what it is, but something is it's not quite managing to connect. Alrighty. Shigun. Also,
Not a
bearing in mind,
whole
you don't
lot.
actually have to do anything on your turn if you don't want to, so.
Yeah, I mean,
I am not moving closer to a soon-to-be flaming log.
I'm just gonna take another shot at the dragon thing with my crossbow.
Okay.
16 hit.
Make. Yes. No, a 16 will not hit. Sorry, I was gonna say this attack is made as a straight roll because it's prone, because it's being forced under the thing, but it's restrained, so it's advantage, so it'd be a straight roll. So this is fine. 16
Okay.
unfortunately doesn't hit. You release the bolt and it scatters against its hide. you see it flinch as it feels the impact of the bolt, but it doesn't actually appear to pierce its hide.
Oh, that's okay then. That'll be my turn then, I suppose.
Okay. Prudence. Toll the dead on the golden gangster, and then move toward Zook and out of the goo. Yeah, that's a 5. That's a 5 there. So yeah, and
there's the bad toll of the dead roll.
That's gonna be another 3 points of damage there.
There
Don't
it is.
you know? Which, fortunately, despite the flavor of the spell, it doesn't actually have to be able to hear the dolorous bells sounding in its head.
I love it.
As once again, the sounding of bells fills the air as it
I love that so much.
flinches slightly under the burbles. And use it 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 will just get you out of the path of the
It needs to be an emote.
ooze. Zook.
I'm gonna move north 1 or 2 squares and then continue doing what I'm doing.
Okay. Maintaining concentration on Mage Hand. How long... I don't think it'll matter, but I'm just curious how long Mage Hand... It's a minute.
1 minute.
Okay. Oh, it's a minute, and it's not actually concentration. I didn't realize that. It just... It lasts for the duration or until you dismiss it. Good to know. But
Well,
you do
I'm
have to...
concentrating on like the pushing
Yeah.
that I'm doing and using.
Yeah, you are focusing on making it do a thing every turn. That's fine. Okay. Is that gonna be your turn?
Yes.
Alrighty. So it's gonna make its strength saving throw against the Mage Hand.
Should I roll for strength?
I was just gonna use the same one that you got before,
Okay.
which is fine because it just rolled a 4. So actually no, sorry. At the end of its turn, it also makes a Constitution saving throw against drowning, which does actually succeed this time, so it doesn't take damage. But the DC's going up every turn it's in the water, in the tar. And that's gonna end its turn. It can't do shit right now.
I did not expect this tree to be full of tar, but I'm very thankful it is.
Coming back up to the top of the initiative order, the tar is going to spread out another 10 feet. The fire is going to spread 5 feet in every direction along the tree. It doesn't actually... no, it does light the tar. I lied. So it will spread in 5 feet in every direction. Because it's fucking fire. Which means that our dragon
And
friend
so now
has
it's
to...
drowning and on fire.
Our dragon friend has to make a dex save at disadvantage. The first one was a 20. That's a 5, so it fails. So it takes a d6 fire damage. That's 4 points of fire damage. As it catches... It is now on fire.
This poor thing!
Um...
Oh my god.
I mean, on the upside, you can't hear it scream because it's drowning. You know, as I said that, I realized how awful it sounded. Oh boy. We are gonna have a real heart-to-heart talk, you guys and me. Anyway. That ends its turn. Oh, that's the top of the round. Hoid.
Evil aligned in this is personal.
I mean, you don't know that.
Well, it's personal.
I've
And also,
told
I'm
you
chaotic
that,
aligned.
that's a whole discussion. But, Hoid, it's your turn.
However.
I'm gonna continue. That's a 5
With your...
with my phantom.
Oh, with your phantasm, yeah.
And I'm just gonna sit my rock.
How does the phantasm finish it off?
Ooh. I hadn't thought about that.
That puts you in a fun position.
That does.
Physically, it's being held down by the mage hand. It's on fire, and it's drowning. How does it think it dies?
The liquid in which it's drowning is also on fire.
That's also true.
So, it's holding...
Yeah, also bear in
the
mind
other
your
one's
phantasm
throat,
doesn't have to
pushing
follow
it.
the laws of physics, so...
Right, pushing it under the tar. The phantasm itself also catches fire, but it doesn't care. It keeps going until it stops moving.
Oh boy.
So visceral.
Alrighty.
You weave
So
a compelling tale, good sir.
Each of you watching on sees the creature struggle against the multiple sources of damage fighting against it, and eventually you see it succumb to its wounds. Zook, I believe you had something?
And that is how you make a dragon disappear.
Oh,
Alrighty.
oh no.
I release the mage hand.
Okay, so you dismiss the mage hand.
Oh wow.
Of note, the fire spreads another 5 feet out in every direction.
Yeah, that dragon caused me a lot of upset.
That's not
Now I'm much more
what I think of
doubts.
when I think the words bad dragon, but anyway.
Oh my.
Shush.
I know what you're talking about.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do before finishing this off? The tree's still on fire. The sap is on fire.
I'm going to dismiss my phantasm.
Okay. Well, when the creature
Just-
dies, the
just-
phantasm dismisses on its own.
Right.
'Cause it's no longer in anyone's mind. So.
Right.
Zook,
And you know what? You know what, guys? You know what? I'm gonna do this music just for you.
Is it the Final Fantasy Victory Fanfare?
It is not.
Oh.
I will say Prudence has resistance to fire as a tiefling. To climb up, you'll be climbing into fire. So it would be an acrobatics check to get up there, and then an investigation check at disadvantage because you're on fire.
Don't go into the ooze or the fire. Have Zook go get it.
I would
And
not
also-
touch the stuff.
I assume, Prudence, you're stepping back as the ooze is spreading, because it is also spreading further, and you're now directly in its path.
I'm gonna take a minute.
Okay. Oh, I'll just put you
To
over here because
relax.
that's out of the way.
Because I feel like I should relax.
So Zook, you at the
I
end of
mean-
the combat, you just sit down and fall onto your back and just feel the grass underneath you.
Well, I was going to ask Zook to retrieve the item with the mage hand, but that's fine.
He can
Actually,
still
no,
ask.
yeah, I'll-
Doesn't mean he'll do it, but
No, I'd do it.
okay. Fire spreads out 5 more feet.
I'll try and find and retrieve the item.
At this point, the smell of the flame is acrid and almost disturbing. It smells like rotting flesh, almost like flesh that's being burned.
I'm gonna back off some more. My fire's getting a
Okay.
bit close.
Does anyone have anything they can actually do to put this out?
Fire spreads another 5 feet. The ooze comes to the spread of the ooze comes to a stop as its supply is currently on fire. However, the fire once again spreads another 5 feet.
The only
It's not gonna. Wait, no, you don't.
I don't
You
have
can
a,
try
I have,
thaumaturgy.
I have access to a spell that can create water, but it's not prepared right now.
You can, Prudence, you can try your thaumaturgy if you want.
I feel like the ooze would stop spreading anyway, because it's like that's a lot of it. And I
The
feel
ooze has stopped spreading.
Yeah.
But not from lack of supply. You look closely at where the flame is erupting from the side of the tree. It's the ooze is feeding the fire.
The ooze is flammable.
Well, yeah, me and Prudence are using our mage hands to try and fish out the trinket. Also, I'm gonna make my mage hand visible for this purpose.
Okay, so you make your mage hand visible. Arcane tricksters are fun, aren't they? Both of you make an investigation check with disadvantage because you're doing it at a distance, and also through fire.
I'm going to give them encouraging words.
Investigation?
Investigation, yes. Hoyd, you said encouraging words?
I'm going to give them encouraging words. Zook, you can do it. I believe in you.
I forget who. Somebody has an inspiration that they never used.
Oh, Zook used it.
Oh, no, they did. Fire spreads another 5 feet. This tree
What's
now
the
also
encouraging
catches fire.
words? Is there a mechanical effect of that?
Oh, it usually is, but these sound hollow.
Are you out of bardic inspiration dice for the day?
I've got one left.
Are
Alrighty.
you using it?
So Prudence, you fish around.
Do you actually have a
with the mage
chance of doing
hand,
this?
and it doesn't seem to find anything.
Wow, rude.
Zook, once again, you also fish around with your mage hand. It's tough because you can't actually feel anything with your mage hand. But you do the best you can at the distance with the fire absolutely roaring around you. But you don't seem to find anything. Make a survival check, Prudence. He's wondering if there's enough fuel for the fire to just spread indefinitely.
Well, that would perhaps be a disaster.
You are in a grasslands area, 14. Of note, the fire has only been spreading to the immediately flammable substances. This tree is now on fire, another 5 feet out, but it doesn't look like the grasses around you have caught fire enough to sustain like a wildfire.
Shigun, can you knock that tree down?
What's that?
Can you knock that tree down? Just to stop spreading?
The one that just caught on fire?
Yeah, maybe end the fire.
I can try to do that.
Would it make any difference?
Rurik,
Mage hand searching round 2?
I just want to be sure, are you stepping away as the fire's spreading toward you?
I will if I'm not already at a safe distance.
Another 5 feet out. I'll say, yeah, about 10-15 feet away is a safe distance. At this point, Rurik, the fire is now next to you. You're not on fire. You haven't caught fire, but if you say where you are, you'll probably have to make a few Constitution saving throws.
I've been planning to move away, but I haven't had an opportunity to say anything.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're moving away from the fire. We are quite over our time, so to make this brief, at this point the tree is just erupting in fire. The whole thing is just roiling, and it's burning with an intensity that you wouldn't have expected, even from a large tree. As you listen and watch, the smoke that's coming up from the tree is this black, almost like opaque tree smoke coming from it. Not quite the same type of smoke you'd expect from a tree. And if you
I feel if we
listen,
don't get it now, it might melt.
and if you listen closely, Zook, make an intelligence check real quick. And as each of you are listening closely,
Just intelligence?
yeah, just straight intelligence. 9.
Oh, really?
Knowing what you know about the materials it's made out of, it probably melted, but you also know that magic items kind of have a resistance to these things, but you don't know for sure with this particular item.
At this point, I'm basically praying it survives. Literally.
I'd do another search.
Rurik, make a wisdom saving throw, if you could.
A wisdom saving throw?
Mm-hmm. No, just to make a wisdom check.
Just
a wisdom check. D20 plus your wisdom modifier. I'm not going to continue to draw outward. As you 24, nicely done. As you listen to the, actually, I have music for this.
Oh, it's a shame I can't hear it very well.
Well, you know. Where is it? Gotta find it first. I think it's this one. I hope it's this one. If it's not, fuck it, I'll make it work. Nope, that's not it. This is probably it. Anyway. You listen to the fire rolling, you hear hissing and snapping and crackling, and you feel a presence make its way out of the tree and cast itself up into the smoke. Hoyd, I believe you rolled an 18 before on your nature check to identify the twig blights. You actually know what this is. This is a Golthius tree. Golthius... Whoa, boy.
Phone! That's my phone.
Golthius trees are the source of twig blights. They are trees that have been infected with evil, some kind of evil. They are sentient, they are alive, and their only goal is to spread more of their evil into the surrounding lands. And as you watch, you can feel the presence of this evil disappear and fade over time. Rurik, you feel a very faint tickle in the back of your head as a familiar presence comes over you, and you feel a familiar touch on your shoulder and a whisper in your ear. You've done well. You close your eyes for a moment, and in your mind's eye, you can visualize precisely where the Periapt of Health is within the tree. You know that it's unharmed, and you know exactly where to find it.
I think. Would I be able to give precise directions to either Zook or Prudence to allow them to retrieve it with Mage Hand?
Yep. Yeah, you can.
I would like to do that. To the left, the other left.
Yes.
I would like to describe the location of where the Periapt of Health is located and ask that either Zook or Prudence retrieve it.
Alrighty, taking a few minutes with both Zook and Prudence. So Prudence assists Zook. You do manage to fish the Periapt of Health from the flames, and it's a very interesting sight to see Zook's ethereal hand essentially pull the symbol of Palor up out of the flames. You can see the sunlight of the late afternoon shine against it. and the symbol floats down to the ground. It drops to the ground in front of you. It is actually glowing with the heat that it experienced, and Prudence's mage hand shakes mage hands with Zook. And Prudence's mage hand is dismissed.
As is Zook's.
And Zook's mage hand disappears as well. And at this point, because good lord, that took a lot longer than I thought it would, and you guys discovered a lot more about this tree than I was expecting you to. Oh yeah, Hoyd, I think you can just boop.
One last
Chill.
thing from me.
Yep. What's up?
One last thing from me. Partly as a gesture of thanks and partly as a gesture of
Oh shit. The music changed into what I didn't want. Anyway, go on.
I forget what the word for it is, but as a gesture of I'm sorry,
Apology,
I will give
probably
each of the 4 other party members 20 gold.
Oh, okay. Unbidden, Zook comes around and he hands each of you 20 gold.
Okay.
Are you?
Prudence.
Is this our share of the cut for the traveling circus performance?
Prudence.
Sure.
It's
Of
whatever
course
you
it is.
want.
You go to hand the gold to
whatever you want it to
Prudence,
be.
and Prudence doesn't even extend his hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess I'm only losing 60 gold now.
You don't need to give us money. I'm not even sure what this is
I
for.
want to.
You want to?
I want to.
Can I have...
There's no need for it.
This is literally the last thing that's gonna happen today, because I gotta cut it off sometime. Can I
Okay.
have everybody make a perception check, please?
Hoyt is a 14.
5, 11, 14, 17. If Prudence, if you'd like, you can also have Deer make a check because she's around. 22.
My passive perception is 16.
In this case, yeah, this would be passive, so your 16 can override that. That's fine. Alrighty, so this would be Rurik, Prudence, and Zook. You hear coming from the direction that you were that you are traveling to. So down in the direction that you're traveling, you hear a somewhat large contingent of horse hoofbeats. At this distance, it's hard to tell, but it's more than 10 people are rushing up in this direction. No, more than 10 horses, I should say, are rushing up in this direction. You
Probably
turn to
responding
look.
to the fire.
Yeah, so Prudence, you turn to look. Each of you turns to look that heard, but you don't see anything quite in eyeshot yet. And that is where I'm gonna stop for tonight, because it's 10:40, or like stupid 40 o'clock where Prudence lives. So
But we're role playing.
I know, and you're doing a great job of it, but I need to sleep, and you need to sleep, and everyone
And
needs to
that's
And
sleep.
we need food.
And you need food. And yeah, Prudence is about to wake up from the morning.
You're about to wake up.
Oh,
you'll get all your spells back. How convenient.
So, yes. So, as on that note, as always, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for playing, and thank you, the one concurrent viewer we have right now, for watching. Our next session for the Thursday group is going to be on March 5th. And the Monday group is going to be playing on the 24th, next Monday. This upcoming Monday. So you can tell I'm getting exhausted now because my voice is a lot lower than it usually is. So everybody have a good night, and I hope to see you next time.